We owe you one, said Julius Erving to Philadelphia fans after Portland beat the 76ers last May, and it looks like Philadelphia's going to pay off. Bob McAdoo's the key for the Knicks today. He has to be at the top of his game if the Knicks are to avert being swept in 4 straight by the 76ers here at Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden, New York City, the home of the New York Knicks. And unless the Knicks win here today, it'll be the end of the line for them this season. For the 76ers, it looks like just the beginning. They have played just great. Hello, everyone. I'm Don Criqui, joined today by Mendy Rudolph and by the former captain of the Celtics, who we're so happy to have with us on CBS now, John Havlicek, the man who wears 8 championship rings, not at once, from that great team. John, what can the Knicks do to possibly slow down this Philadelphia club? They've played so well.
I think that they have to get into an offense where they're going to use some time, because if you get into a running game with the Philadelphia 76ers, it's going to be a long afternoon for you, because I don't think any team in the league can run with the 76ers. And the other thing they must do is have good floor court balance.
You got to change them up a little bit. You can't run with them. Nobody can.
That's right. I think that they're a team that has the people with the capability of pushing the ball up the floor at just about every position, not only the guards, but the forwards also.
Mendy, you've seen a lot of great teams. Have you ever seen anybody looks as good as this 76er club in this
Not
series?
at this point in the season, Don. They're as playing well now as any time I've seen them play. The last 3 games, they've been absolutely awesome. They're cool, they're confident, they're cocky. Everybody's doing extremely what they should do. Billy Cunningham is happy. He doesn't intend to change anything, and the Knicks have their work cut out for them this afternoon.
I guess Spencer Haywood might have said it best. Somebody said, how do you beat this Philadelphia team? He says, you got to hope a couple of them get sick. They're playing that well. We'll be back with the opening tip-off here at Madison Square Garden.
The NBA on CBS. Today's game is sponsored by all the new 1978 Chevrolets, now at your Chevy dealers everywhere. The Navy, it's not just a job, it's an adventure. And by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer.
We are back at Madison Square Garden, and Billy Cunningham and his 76ers are ready to roll again. There is Coach Cunningham, and there are his starters. Julius Erving and George McGinnis, a couple of all-stars at forward. Caldwell Jones, who plays so well at center, and Henry Bibby and Doug Collins, one of the best backcourt alliances in the NBA. Willis Reed, after directing the Knicks to the playoffs for the first time in 3 years, feels a lot of pressure now as his team really hasn't been able to stay with the 76ers. And Willis is going to start Jim McMillan at one forward. At the other will be powerful Lonnie Shelton. High-scoring Bob McAdoo is in the pivot, although he plays outside a lot. The backcourt is Butch Beard and Magic Earl Monroe, and they have to have big games today to get back in it. The officials for today's game, Don Murphy and Bob Rakel. And we are set to go at Madison Square Garden, Game 4 of this Eastern semifinal series. We'll also be going for updates on San Antonio, Washington. Here is the tip in the air, and they'll jump it up again.
The matchup to watch here, Don, is Haywood and McGinnis. They had a little firepower going on in the 3rd game. We'll see if anything happens this afternoon.
Henry Bibby, who plays such aggressive defense, he pressures the ball all the way up the floor, making them use up that shot clock. With the defense there, Knicks moving the ball around quickly. And Jim McMillan, a former All-American at Columbia here in New York City, puts up the first points. Here comes Henry Bibby, going to Caldwell Jones. Down low to Bibby, and we have the first whistle of the game. Knicks are coming out moving that ball around, John Havlicek.
Yes, they're moving it real well, and I think that Caldwell Jones has been a real factor with the 76ers, particularly playing defense against Bob McAdoo.
Well, he doesn't score a lot, averaging only about 6 points a game the last couple of years with them, but he sure gives them a lot on defense and rebounding. Here is McAdoo taking a look from the outside. Butch Beard gets the free shot. And the Knicks are 2 for 2 and lead 4-0.
Well, that shot will be open up all afternoon for the Knicks, that baseline shot. Now, McMillan scored from the baseline. The last field goal was scored from the baseline. The 76ers have to cut that off.
Doug Collins, one of the quickest shooters in the league. They know the play is coming. He's going to work off that pick set there, but you can't get to him. He gets it off so fast.
He's very quick, and he uses it so effectively. A lot of people don't use the pick properly, but Doug is one of the best in the league.
They say he's the best guard in the league playing away from the ball. Jim McMillan lets her rip, and Doug Collins takes it down, and here comes that transition game you were talking about, John, as the 76ers go right from defense to a fast break offense. But a foul call on McGinnis.
His first personal foul.
So the ball turns over to New York. Earl Monroe has not had a good playoff series so far. He's had his problems, the Pearl. Only 8 of 28 shooting from the floor so far. He's only scored 20 points in the first 3 games. McAdoo puts it in the air and gets it down.
McAdoo came across the floor that time and reversed again into the middle and got him off balance and put up the shot for a good 2 points.
I guess the best part of McAdoo's game is coming off that baseline and swinging out. We'll watch it again.
On this replay now, you'll watch Beard hit McAdoo, and McAdoo will get Caldwell Jones up in the air, and when he does, he takes advantage of it and scores.
McAdoo was held to 22 points in the first 2 games, then came out to hit for 29 in game 3, but that wasn't enough. Now they're going to catch McAdoo for whacking George McGinnis on the arm. And the big guy from Indiana will go to the free throw line for Philadelphia with the Knicks in the lead 6-2 and 10:04 to play in the first period.
Well, you take a look at George McGinnis's arms, you swear they were pumped up with a bicycle pump, don't you? Powerful man.
They've got so much muscle. You know, last year, John Havlicek, the 76ers and the Celtics, as you certainly know, went 7 tough games. You didn't match up with them muscle-wise either, but you stayed with them. What did you do?
Well, I think that our defense was probably the biggest factor. We tried to give them the outside shot and not let them beat us on the inside, because they will do that, particularly with the likes of a guy like McGinnis.
Butch Beard can't get it. Doug Collins with his second defensive rebound leads the break. Monroe tried to get him, and George McGinnis comes crashing in as a trailer, follows the play up. The Knicks' basic game is run and shoot, but Philadelphia does it better. Knicks are hitting though.
Caldwell Jones that time tried to block up the middle, anticipating Earl coming through. He didn't. Earl passed it off to McAdoo with the open man. Of course, he hit the shot.
And the Knicks, shooting well, have a 2-point lead, 8-6. McAdoo with a nice save, but his inbound attempt is errant, and the ball is back to the 76ers.
That's the kind of game they have to have today. Everyone going out for every loose ball on the floor and try and anticipate so you can intercept, because there's no tomorrow for them.
Three times.
Good serving goes to Collins, and again the whistle blows. You talked to these 76ers before the game.
Followed by Butch Beard.
You guys ready to let up a little bit and take it a little easier? They want it all in 4. They want some rest before that Washington-San Antonio winner comes up.
The rest proved to be a good factor before they got into this series also.
It really did. They came out smoking. They had their problems, as we were talking before the game, John, at the end of the season. I think they lost 6 of their last 8. They have really come out, though, firing. Just superior basketball, hitting 52% as a team from the floor, 84% from the free throw line in this series. 128 points a game.
14, you're holding. 14.
We have a hold called on Henry Bibby.
His first personal foul.
First foul and first team foul of the game. Monroe watches a lot of motion inside, and Earl Monroe, now as the 76ers double up on the ball, takes it baseline. A nice shot, but it didn't get down, and here come the 76ers running. They're a track team. Spencer Haywood in the game, but he threw it away to Henry Bibby. Oh, man.
We had too many Knicks at the other end of the floor, and that time if you give the 76ers that many chances at the hoop, they're going to score.
And Philadelphia takes the lead for the first time. As McAdoo gets it inside, he'll shoot 2. Julius Erving with a brilliant offensive rebound.
You notice on this play now, there'll be 4 Philadelphia 76ers in that 16-foot lane as the shot goes up. And that's good defense. Of course, he was hit on the foul, but Bam McAdoo has to do that this afternoon, Don, in order to get the Knicks back into this series. He's got to go to the hoop. He's got to draw some fouls. And they Caldwell Jones played tough defense. That outside shot is being blocked by him by Caldwell Jones. He is so tall that Bob McAdoo has had to change his trajectory on the ball and made it difficult.
Caldwell Jones is a great shot blocker. He takes your shot away. You've got to change it to get it over him. And he's been following McAdoo all around, as everybody that follows this league knows. McAdoo can go out and pump it up from 25 feet.
He's very quick also. You don't find too many centers able to play defense that well out on the floor. Most of them like to stay inside, but he's played him all over the floor.
Followed by Tim McMillan, his first personal
Let's watch this play now. The foul will take place actually off the ball. One official was going to call a foul on Beard, but the other official called one underneath. So there were 2 fouls on the play.
And come back into the 76ers. What do we have there, John?
Well, that was a good call. They were trying to put it into the corner, and it came off of Earl Monroe's leg. And actually what they're trying to do is contest him and play a little better defense, because that's the only way they can stay in this game.
And the Pearl takes it off the defensive board and starts on the run down the floor. Jimmy McMillan, who hit the first shot of the game, gets it off glass, coming down off the baseline against Irving.
And that wasn't easy when you got Dr. J standing there to block your shot. The only way McMillan could do it was to go underneath him, and that's what he did.
These Knicks are working hard on defense. There's 5 guys really changing up and helping out, and Earl Monroe knocks it down. And Bill Cunningham wants to talk it over.
Here's that play we were talking about where McMillan will drive to the hoop. Now he knows Dr. J is there, has to go underneath him, and uses the glass beautifully.
"100 miles from nowhere, you prospect for black gold. With nothing but a steel pipe and sheer muscle, you punch holes in the seafloor, knowing that more often than not, you'll come up empty. But you take the gamble anyway and give it everything you've got. Now comes Miller time. Time to head for shore and the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear. Miller tastes too good to hurry through. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller Beer.
Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, Chevrolet.
Where you going, America?
To Malibu.
Malibu, Malibu.
Malibu.
Looks like a large slice of America is going to Malibu. Chevy's new size, quick size, mid-size car that's so right in so many ways for so many people right now. You'd think it had been designed by Mr. John Q. Public himself. It's you, America, a fresh new slice of apple pie called Chevy Malibu.
A fresh new slice of apple pie from Chevrolet to you.
You're gonna eat it up.
Now for a report on the other Eastern semifinal, San Antonio at Washington. Let's go to Frank Gleber and Pete Maravich at Landover, Maryland.
Welcome to the fans who have just joined us here in Washington. Bullets in the Spurs. Spurs leading 10-4. And the Bullets come back with a bucket to make it 10-6.
That was just your basic backdoor play, and Paul's got there a little bit late.
Been a very slow, deliberate first period so far. San Antonio deliberately slowing things down. There's the Iceman trying to get the shot away and running into heavy traffic in the lane.
So far, San Antonio is playing very aggressively on both offense and defense.
Foul is on Tom Henderson. First substitute of the ball game, that's Mark Olberding. Checking in for San Antonio. Mike Green started the game, somewhat of a surprise starter. Gervin on the line.
This is the key to San Antonio's success, is the fact that their bench only got 16 points in the last game, while Washington scored 42. If they're going to win today, they must have bench performance.
Got
12-6.
a couple of free ones. Irving. How do you stop that?
When Julius gets that low, there's nothing you can do. You hope to try and get the ball when he has it down around his waist, because once it goes from there, you're in trouble.
So the way you stop that is you don't.
Fouled by Henry Bibby. That's Bibby's second.
Henry Bibby just got his second personal foul, third team foul of the period.
Earl Monroe on the line.
6:35 to play in the first period here at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks leading 14-12 as Earl Monroe is at the free throw line for New York. We welcome back our viewers We're just watching San Antonio and Washington in Game 4 of the Eastern Semifinal Series that they're competing in. Here at the Garden, it's a 4-point advantage for the New York Knicks as the Sixers in blue get it moving with Mendy Rudolph and John Havlicek. This is Don Criqui at the Garden, as Philadelphia is meeting a very aggressive defensive unit in the Knicks today. New York is blocking out, getting to the boards, hitting the basket. And here comes Butch Beard as the Knicks are looking to run every chance they get. Earl Monroe fires. Butch Beard at 6'2" goes up and lays it back up and in. A big play by the backcourt player.
And Butch Beard got position on George McGinnis that time. Big George fell asleep on his defensive assignment, didn't block anybody out on the board. And of course, Beard picked it up for an easy hoop.
That's right, Mendy. The Knicks are doing a good job sneaking inside. Now George McGinnis with that pump fake, holding that ball like a softball, puts it back up. It's a 4-point game, New York. Jimmy Mack having some trouble, but maintains possession.
Jimmy Mack made a very good cut moving without the ball that time. Hadn't he slipped, he would have had a layup.
Now Billy Cunningham is up and looking about as we have a personal foul signal. That call is going on Butch Beard.
Fouled by Butch Beard.
And there is Billy's counterpart, Willis Reed, in his first year as head coach. Directed this team to an over 500 record for the first time in 3 years. And to the first playoff spot in 3 years for New York. Right now, San Antonio's beating Washington 14-10 in the first period. Spurs looking to even that series. We had a blocking foul in there, Mendy.
And temper's a little hot right now because on that last call, Butch Beard didn't agree with it. He said something to Don Murphy and a technical foul was called. So the Knicks are a little edgy right now. He didn't get that call on the other end of the court, and he wanted the same call down at this end of the court.
Ray Williams, number 13.
Ray Williams, the number 1 draft choice of the Knicks, comes in, replacing Butch Beard. They think he's going to be a superior player. Willis Reed is very pleased with the progress of Ray Williams, who comes from nearby White Plains, New York.
Now with 5.5 minutes to go in this first quarter, Don, the Knicks are in foul trouble. They're in the penalty situation. Of course, every foul from here on in is going to hurt them.
Big factor. Big factor. So much time left in the first period, 5:28. A 3-point advantage for the Knicks. Jimmy Mack comes up and picks for Ray Williams, who brings it over the 10-second line. You've got to watch Henry Bibby because you make a mistake on offense and he'll have the basketball.
No basket.
A hold on George McGinnis.
Fouled by George McGinnis, his second personal foul. And
Sixers now have 4 team fouls. So the Knicks will inbound the ball. The next foul against Philadelphia, they'll go to the penalty shot. That wins a lot of basketball games, doesn't it, John, the penalty?
Yes, it certainly does, because if you can get a team into foul trouble this early in the quarter, it's a definite advantage.
Henry Bibby pulls up and fires, and Henry Bibby gets it down. You may recall he played on the 1973 New York Knicks team that won the NBA championship. Was a 4th-round draft choice of New York. McAdoo feeds out to Monroe, picks for him. McAdoo giving up the ball today, looking for the guards to get the free shot. Line drive jumper is picked off by McGinnis. Haywood goes down. We have a travel call signaled against the 76ers. Haywood and McGinnis have been real rough with each other in this series.
They have been tough. There's not any good blood between the two of them. In fact, on the first shot that Haywood made in the 3rd game on Thursday night, he said to George McGinnis, "in your face," and that started it all off. So we got to take a look at those two. Lonnie Shelton in the game right now, Don.
That was McAdoo's nickname up in Buffalo. Face. Used to like to shut. Haywood picked it up. Lonnie Shelton comes into the game and just muscles his way into the lane. And the Knicks are up now with 20 points and lead by 3. 4:15 to play in the first period. Got two! Shelton, body check at George McGinnis. And McAdoo with good hands comes down with the ball. Offensive foul on Bob McAdoo. McGinnis did have position, I think, John.
his second personal foul.
George here takes it in. He has great quickness, and Lonnie bothers him on his shot. On the rebound, you have McAdoo getting up in the air. You should not get up in the air when making the pass, because if you do, you can't change directions.
Yeah, your options are limited, aren't they?
Indeed.
McGinnis fouls up Irving's shot. The doctor ready to stuff it. Last touch by George McGinnis. I'll tell you, Mendy, inside, these Knicks are playing a tough game.
They are rebounding well right now. If they can continue this, the 76ers will have their hands full.
Great penetration that time, kicking it off for an excellent basket.
That was Ray Williams kicking it off. And there's the San Antonio score. 19-12 in the first period. Here's another foul.
Foul was by Ray Williams.
That's one thing about playoff games, John. The intensity is so great, you do have an increased number of fouls oftentimes, and that can be very costly down the stretch. You lose people.
Particularly when you're 3 games down, because you have to come out and play very aggressive.
And Steve Knicks gets set to come back in now, come in for the first time for Philadelphia. Ray Williams getting the foul, his first. And Lloyd Free is also in, so the bomb squatters are starting to come in. Call this group the bomb squad because they will put it up from way out, throw up those bombs, and they'll hit them too.
And when Knicks is in the ball games, the Knicks better be able to bump and grind because he'll do it to you. He's a tough offensive forward.
Philadelphia loses very little when they go to their bench.
He's a very fundamental player, and his game stays basically the same, and that's effective.
And so now, as you see, it's a 4-point advantage for the New York Knicks. 3.5 to go in the first period. Bibby now playing off, trying to cordon off the lane as Monroe takes it to the basket. Continuation, the basket goes, the points are up, and Earl Monroe will shoot.
And nobody shoots better in traffic than Earl the Pearl. He loves people around him. Now watch when he goes to the hoop. 3 76ers converge. Earl here's the whistle, continues on with the shot. And that's a good play, John. When you hear that whistle from the officials, don't pass it off. Don't put it to the floor again. Go to the hoop.
Exactly, because you want to definitely try for that 3-point play. And Earl had a real good situation. He was isolated one-on-one, and there's nobody better when he's not in traffic down low than Earl.
Darryl Dawkins, the big baby D, ready to come in at any time. Another of those great 76er bench players. Good defense by the Knicks as they give McGinnis fits inside. They're not going to let him power his way off the baseline. Knicks doubling up on the ball. Lloyd Free pumping up the jump shot. He drew the shooting foul.
Well, the Knicks are doubling up all over now. They're doubling up the guy with the ball, the guy down low. And then watch McGinnis get double teamed over here. He'll finally pick up the ball and pass it over to Lloyd Free. And Lloyd Free will be double teamed also. And of course, he was fouled on the play.
Lloyd Free has the ability to go up in the air for the shot. And if he gets bothered, he sort of kicks his legs out. And actually, sometimes the defense bumps the legs and he gets the foul call in his favor.
The other night in Game 3, Lloyd Free came in off the bench, scored 29 points in only 31 minutes of playing time. He hit everything. So at the numbers 25-19 New York and 3 minutes to go in the first period, the Knicks come down court with the ball, holding to a 6-point lead. Jim McMillan gets a free shot. Knicks are playing a nice, confident, smooth shooting game here in the first period.
I think that McAdoo has to start moving without the ball a little more, because if he's not moving, Caldwell is able to stay right with him.
Good point. When Jones is around that offensive board of the Knicks, they're not going to get a second shot very often. And now we're going to have a break in the action with 2:40 to play in the first period. The New York Knicks lead the 76ers 27-19, their biggest advantage.
Outward bound, Rota, Spain. The Navy. See your local recruiter or call toll-free. It's not just a job, it's an adventure.
Today, Kendall Oil's Car in the Street interview talks with a Ferrari.
Buongiorno.
I'm told you're demanding.
Demanding? Never. Only when I don't get the right treatment.
Like Kendall Oil?
See, Kendall means confidence.
Right. Every drop of Kendall is specially engineered for exceptional performance and protection. So Kendall helps keep cars out of trouble.
I am not demanding. It's Kendall or nothing.
Kendall means confidence.
Ask any car.
And here we are back at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks 27, the 76ers 19. So far in this first period, the Knicks have hit 11 of 19 for 58%. Conversely, the 76ers have only 38%.
That's been the big difference right now. The Knicks are shooting well. They didn't do that in the first 3 games. Of course, the 76ers did. In fact, in Thursday night's game, they shot 61% in the first half. And the one thing that the Knicks don't want to do, which they haven't done so far, Don, is let the 76ers get ahead. Because when they get ahead, you must play their style of basketball. Boy, when they're behind, it's a different story.
When they go to get ahead, they go from fast speed to faster. They just really kick it up. Both teams with a penalty shot in effect next time they foul. Ray Williams pulling up nicely. It'll go. Shelton. Go. He disallows the basket. How about that call?
Lonnie Shelton, now you'll watch him come into your picture. Watch that 16-foot lane. He'll come in and go over 2 or 3 76ers. There it is. Hits 2 of them, but that's what the Knicks have to do. They have to crash the boards and gamble when they must.
We welcome the fans who have just joined us here at Madison Square Garden. The New York Knicks are in the white uniforms. The Philadelphia 76ers are in blue. That's Steve Knicks shooting free throws for the 76ers. The score, 27-21 New York with 2:25 to play in the first period. This is Don Criqui with John Havlicek and Mendy Rudolph. As the Knicks are playing a good, aggressive team defense, they've led by as many as 8 in the first period. They must, of course, win this game or they are out. Philadelphia swept the first 3. And that's Caldwell Jones taking off the defensive board. And here is the 76ers strong suit, the running game. Joe Bryant, who's just come in, puts up his first shot. And Earl Monroe, with good position, gets the rebound and kicks it out quickly to Ray Williams, the rookie from Minnesota.
Ray Williams brought it all the way up the floor, and he was not picked up by a small man, so he just took it to the hoop. They've also...
And so now it's 29-21 New York with 1:43 to play in the first period. A travel call on Caldwell Jones. He was wondering what traveled up his back. He got hit.
Well, I'll tell you, Lonnie Shelton had the whistle blown just in time, because had he not called the travel, it would have been a 2-shot foul. Lonnie Shelton really cracked him.
He didn't want to give him the 3-point play.
A minute and a half to go in the first period. 29-21 New York. Again, the Knicks with an 8-point lead as Jim Clemens is in for the first time. Offensive foul on Shelton. He was backing in. We'll look at it again. Mendy.
We'll watch Steve Mix. What I said earlier, he'll bump and grind, and that's what he does with Lonnie Shelton right now. He turns his back, keeps him out of position, and Lonnie Shelton, a little aggravated at that point, starts to back up, and they call the foul against him.
Not 2 good fouls, so Shelton, he's had a problem with inadvertent fouls. And right now, we have a 29-21 score up on the board, New York. Philadelphia having to set up here now. That's one way to stop the 76ers fast break, is to hit your shot, make him take it out of bounds. But Mix drills it. Mix is a fine player, isn't he, John Havlicek?
Yes, he is. He's one of the players that a few years ago had trouble making it with any team in the league, but he certainly has played probably as well and as consistently as any forward in the game.
Henry Bibby fires. Not quite enough there. Lloyd free. Right back up. The guy they call World. He's all world.
And he can sky. He went at least a foot off the ground. Just out-jumped everybody for that rebound.
That's why they call him the Prince of Midair. And so now it's 29-25 as we are down to a half minute to play in the first period. Knicks 8-point lead cut to 4. Monroe working and drilling, and Glenn Gondrzek in the game for New York. Last touch by Free. The Knicks will inbound it. McAdoo's been quiet in the first quarter. Does have 6 points, but 2 of them on free throws. Now he goes to the basket and goes hard. Don Murphy says he stepped on the baseline.
And that's one of the basics of good defense, John Havlicek, is you cut off the baseline from a player driving to the hoop. As Caldwell Jones will do right now. He cut it off. McAdoo tried to force his way through, and of course that caused for the offensive foul.
Very good defensive position that time.
And that's the 3rd foul on Bob McAdoo, so he has a problem here in the first period. There's got to be a foul on Joe Bryant. He came right over the top of Gondrzek. A loose ball. And here's Spencer Haywood coming back in as time is almost out in the first period. You know, they talk, John Havlicek, about the lack of a center here in New York. How do you assess the Knicks' big men?
Well, I think that probably the best man for that is Lonnie Shelton, because you should have a physical player in that position, because he has to be able to set picks, clear the boards, and things like that. So I think he's probably the person with the best physical attributes to be their center.
During his career at Buffalo, his 5 seasons there, Bob McAdoo was a center, although he always played away from the basket a lot on offense. Great outside shooter. Here comes Henry Bibby, working hard, doesn't get it down as the buzzer sounds. So at the end of the first period, the Knicks have a 5-point lead, 30-25.
Yeah, Buck. I just went to another bar and asked for light beer for Miller.
Yeah?
They said, sorry, Buck, we don't have it.
They didn't have it?
No. I don't want some beer that's gonna fill me up. No. I want light. Tastes great.
Right.
Has a third less calories than a regular beer.
Yeah.
And man, it's less filling. You think I'm going to the other bar again? No way. From now on, the buck stops here.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer and less.
See what's new today.
Introducing the third generation Monte Carlo. The third generation of a highly successful personal luxury car. Its highly original styling opens new dimensions in affordable luxury and in comfort. With more rear seat headroom, legroom, and hip room than last year's Monte Carlo, the third generation Monte Carlo. Drive it and put a little distance between yourself and the crowd.
Control is very important in the game of basketball. And control is vital in the game of life, especially when you're dealing with high blood pressure. Right now, I'm having my blood pressure checked. That's the only way to tell if it's high. If it is high, I'll follow my doctor's advice to control it.
It's normal, Tom.
Good. For more information, ask your American Heart Association. I'm Tom Borwinkle. Remember, we're fighting for your life.
An announcement from the American Heart Association in cooperation with the NBA.
Next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular at 4:30 Eastern Time, 3 big events, including the British World Invitational Gymnastics Championships. Highlights to be televised. Future Olympic stars will be competing in that. You'll also see the World Freestyle Skiing Challenge. Highlights from Nordic Valley, Utah. And then some off-road racing. The Off-Road Race of Champions features hills, mud, water hazards, jumps, and ditches. 18 of the best unlimited off-road racers competing in that next Saturday on the Sports Spectacular. Here at Madison Square Garden, this is Don Criqui with Mendy Rudolph and John Havlicek as we are in Game 4 of this Eastern semifinal series. The Philadelphia 76ers in blue, trailing by 5. I don't know if they've ever been behind in the series up till now. Doug Collins going hard to the basket and then hard to the floor.
As you mentioned, John, that's what Doug Collins does so well. He moves beautifully without the ball. He fed himself right to the ring. The pass met him on time, and that's one of his attributes.
He has probably the quickest feet in the NBA. I noticed the Knicks came out in the second quarter picking them up all over the floor, so they feel that the defense is what has to do it for them.
And there were a couple of fans before the game trying to look for his sneakers, hopefully trying to put cement in them to keep him on the floor.
Boy, he is fast.
He is quick.
And so now it is a 3-point game, New York, as the Sixers have come down from 8 points to within 3. Lonnie Shelton. Looks like Gondrzak picked somebody up.
Mix up in assignments down low, and they failed to make the proper switch.
Darryl Dawkins in the game for Philadelphia. The Knicks have only led before by 2 points after the first quarter of the last game. Other than that, Philadelphia has dominated, especially dominated when the final numbers were in.
A loose ball foul charged against Joe Bryant.
Joe Bryant gets a call he wasn't looking for.
Let's watch Darryl Dawkins here now. A powerful, powerful guy. He got pushed out of the way a little bit by Spencer Haywood, but I'll tell you something. He won't allow that to happen again.
He's a tough guy to move. Earl Monroe spinning off. The Pearl can't get it down. Bryant picks up the ball. And the Prince of Midair almost lost it. And Mix, who plays away from the ball, waits for the opportunity and gets it and knocks it down to make it again a 3-point game. Now Shelton puts the Knicks up by 5. Knicks shooting well over 50% in the first period. You got to keep it up to stay with this Philadelphia team. We've shot well over 50% through the first 3 games. Clemens out rebounds Joe Bryant. Jim Clemens at 6'3" goes to Gondrzak. Spencer Haywood pulls out.
Good move by Spencer Haywood. He caught Steve Mix in the air. He left his feet, took advantage of it, went to the hoop. Good shot selection.
Those are his first points of the day. Monroe has 7. McAdoo has 6. McMillan is high for the Knicks with 8. Shelton has 6. Collins has 7 for Philadelphia. Mix has 6. Irving has 4. McGinnis has 6.
Fouled by Spencer Haywood. His second personal foul. New York's second team foul.
There's a lot of bumping going on out there. Bryant and Gondrzick. You've got Haywood right now, and Dawkins are pushing and bumping and grinding everybody down.
It's real rough inside. Now we have Steve Mix taking a look down low, and Daryl Dawkins with Haywood against him.
Timeout. Timeout.
We're going to have a timeout on the floor, but we'll watch that first. Watch this play now. Dawkins will try to get Spencer up in the air. He does. He'll miss the shot. And watch Gondrzick on the right of your side of your picture with Joe Bryant.
A poem about deodorants. Roll, roll the roll-on, all sticky and wet. Or spray your underarm. What a fog you'll get. So give me the stick, Old Spice deodorant stick. It goes right to the spot. All wet or foggy, it's not. It guards against odor the whole day long. With Old Spice freshness, you cannot go wrong. So goodbye roll-on, so long spray. Old Spice stick, it's the only way.
Old Spice stick.
You know what's one of the toughest weeds in your lawn? The dandelion. Because dandelions have roots up to 2 feet long. And if you don't get it all, it just grows back. What you need is Scott's Turf Builder Plus 2. It gets rid of the whole dandelion, root and all, and 40 other weeds too, while it helps thicken your lawn with Turf Builder fertilizer. So take care of your weeds as well as your lawn with Turf Builder Plus 2 from Scott's.
See what's new today. When you're driving down the road and you're moving through a curve and your car's looking good, it's showing lots of nerve. It's Monza by Chevrolet.
The new Monza by Chevrolet. For a car so sporty and so well equipped, it's priced surprisingly low.
Monza by Chevrolet.
All right, the Knicks come back out on the playing floor. Phil Jackson's in for the first time, as is Toby Knight. Lonnie Shelton in there with him, along with Jim Clemens and Earl Monroe. In the game for Philadelphia, Dawkins at the free throw line, Collins and Free in the backcourt, Joe Bryant and Steve Mix in the game with Daryl Dawkins. Billy Cunningham can really take 5 guys off his bench, John, and not lose a whole lot.
Well, that's one of the keys to going a long way in the championship series, and in the playoffs is a good bench.
Knight brings the ball in, and here's Earl Monroe as the Knicks settle it down. They were looking to run that transition game. When they got the defensive rebound, they were taking off and sprinting with the ball. But now, and bring it inbounds, they bring it up slowly, look for the patent offense, look for somebody to open the shot up with a pick. Monroe goes one-on-one with Collins. Draws the shooting foul. That's tough, huh, Mindy?
Doug Collins can't believe it. He looked up at Murphy when he called the play, and it looked to me as if Earl Monroe might have given him a push with his elbow. Let's take a look at it now. Watch Earl. There's the elbow. He threw that right elbow, looked to me, John, into his chest.
He sure did. He got him up in the air and went to the hoop and actually used a little bit of the elbow to get the contact.
Significant fact at this point, Haywood, McAdoo, and Beard of the Knicks all picked up 3 personal fouls in the first period, so that forces Willis Reed to start substituting for some of his big people.
And they already have 3 fouls thus far in this quarter. The
9-16
Knicks are in his own
play.
trap now.
But Collins is free of it. That's the way you stop Daryl Dawkins from ripping the backboard off. You got to catch him on the way up.
I'll tell you. You watch this rebound and see how high Daryl Dawkins can go up. Now watch the ball and watch Dawkins. He got to be at least 6 inches to 8 inches above that ring. And as you said, the only way to stop him is to just hang on.
Turned out to be a good foul.
Daryl Dawkins makes it a 38-31 game, New York. 9:03 to go in the first half. We welcome our Washington San Antonio viewers. The 76ers in the blue uniforms are trailing the Knicks 40-31 with 8:45 to play in the first half. The Knicks have substituted. They have played aggressive defense. They've had leads of 8 points, and then Philadelphia's come back, and the Knicks have built it up again. And John Havlicek, how would you assess the overall play so far?
Well, right now the Knicks are playing very good defense because this is what has them the lead, I think. But right now the Knicks are in an obvious mismatch with Phil Jackson guarding Dawkins, and I think that the last 2 times down the floor they've gone to Dawkins.
Yeah, Dawkins went for a stuff shot earlier, and they had to foul him going up to keep him from just taking everything down. Ray Williams scoots up to the free throw line and knocks down the jumper, and the Knicks have their biggest advantage.
And he is one of the bright young stars on the Willis Reed Club.
And so now it's 42-31 New York, 8:12 to play in the first period, in the first half. Mr. Darryl Dawkins with one of his cover-your-head dunks.
And there's the mismatch I was talking about.
Well, once he gets up in the air inside, it's a mismatch if you have King Kong in there with him. He's just a powerhouse and an enormous ability. He rejected that shot, and then with good hands took off the ball, did Darryl Dawkins. And here comes Joe Bryant. To Lloyd Free. Let's watch
Here's
that
play
early
you're
play.
going to talk about. There's the mismatch. Dawkins up tight and in with a hoop.
Used his body very well underneath to get the return pass so that he had the man on his back and put it right up and down.
Now Jim McMillan comes in for New York as Willis Reed looks on, and Julius Erving comes in for the 76ers. The Knicks leading by 7. They've enjoyed a lead of as many as 11 points here in the second period. Ray Williams has played very well. He's upped his scoring average in the playoffs. Plays with a lot of confidence.
For a rookie, I'll tell you, he has shown a lot of poise in all the games so far in this series. And Willis Reed will go to him. He has no qualms about playing this rookie.
He averaged just over 9 points a game in the regular season. Has averaged over 18 a game in the playoffs. Collins plays pitch and catch, gets it back, knocks it down. 44-37. Collins has 9. Knicks by 7. Here's an offensive call signaled against New York.
Real good call. Toby Knight had the pick, but he moved on the pick. Threw the 76er to the sideline. A good offensive foul.
And so we have a break in the action. The Knicks call a timeout. 6:56 to go in the half. The Knicks lead.
Penn makes more tennis balls than anyone in America. Tested electronically for quality and response. Penn tennis balls to give you long play, lively bounce, and consistent performance off the racket. Penn, the official ball of World Team Tennis.
Sears National Automotive Sale. The Sears 48, a maintenance-free battery. A battery loaded with starting power is now on sale. The Sears 48, now only $34.99. You save $10.
Need motor oil? Here's an offer that stacks up pretty good. Save 25% on Sears Best Oil. Spectrum Plus 15W50. By the case or by the quart. At Sears.
Life insurance.
Daddy.
Oh, it's just like life insurance. I don't really get the picture there either.
We think you'll get it with Allstate Life Insurance because we believe in plain talk.
Let me spell it out for you.
You should understand life insurance, and Allstate can help you.
Now I get it.
Look,
Now explain that. Oh, it's
you.
When you want a clear picture of life insurance, Allstate wants to help.
That's a promise from us, the good hands people.
A runaway boy and an escaped leopard share the danger and excitement of their adventure in The Runaways. Tuesday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
Now for another report on San Antonio, Washington. Let's go to Frank Heat Maravich at Landover, Maryland.
Welcome to the fans who have just joined us here in Washington. George Gervin is on the free throw line. He is now 4 out of 8 from the line, and the Spurs in black lead the Bullets 36-31. And they have led throughout. 3 minutes, 53 seconds left to play in the first half. That's a warning for Dick Mata.
Well, usually, Frank, when Jake O'Donnell gives him a warning, that's just what it is. But the next one, if there's any chatter at all, it'll be about $75 worth.
Henderson trying to penetrate. Gale staying close to him. And the foul is called on Henderson. 3:40 left in the first half. Spurs leading 37-31.
Now we welcome back our viewers as Ray Williams drills it and gives the Knicks a 9-point lead. He has 8 points so far in the game, Ray Williams. He didn't know he's in the playoffs.
Williams and Free look a lot alike on their jump shot. They both get up very, very well.
They really do. And they both aren't afraid to put it in the air. Here's McAdoo, gets a free one. Knicks coming down with a couple of quick buckets now. Again, the Knicks their lead to 11.
And somehow McAdoo knew he was going to be open on that play. He called for the ball very, very early. He saw Dawkins converge on the 16-foot lane, and he took the ball, of course, scored.
Steve Nicks goes down hard. We have a jump ball called, and we've got some angry 76ers. And Nicks is the angriest. Boy, he went down to that deck hard.
And Billy Cunningham's not too happy with it either. Let's watch this now, see what happens. There's Jackson and Miggs fighting for the ball. You think they're not ready to play. Miggs trying to keep his balance, jumps over, throws a couple of arms, and we're going to have a jump ball. I'll tell you, the bodies are flying.
And Phil Jackson takes the tip, and here come the Knicks down the floor. McAdoo pulling up.
You hear Don, the same thing happened. McAdoo looked for the ball very early. John Havlicek, they're not picking him up on the fast break. Dawkins is converging on the basket, and McAdoo seems to be open.
Well, the Knicks have gotten hot. They have a 13-point lead as we have a break in the action.
Not everyone will understand the language spoken by this Chevy Camaro. For those who understand the language, we recommend the car.
Some car batteries claim they're maintenance-free, though they'll eventually need water. Some batteries make incredible power claims, though they're not the most powerful. Only one battery has the most power, the J.C. Penney battery. It's so powerful it's fully warranted for as long as you own your car. If it ever fails to hold a charge, return it. We'll replace it, free. And it never needs water, ever. It's the last battery your car will ever need.
On Friday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports continues its coverage of the NBA World Championship playoffs, followed by a doubleheader next Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. That's the NBA World Championship playoffs, Friday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern, and a doubleheader Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern.
John, it looks like McAdoo's getting some more open shots here in the second period.
Well, actually what has happened, Dawkins is coming down the center of the floor, as most centers do, trying to fill up that middle, and it has allowed McAdoo to be open on the wings. But at this point, Billy just made a substitution. He now has Caldwell Jones to follow McAdoo around all over the floor.
So the 76ers, having fallen behind by 13 points, and McGinnis looks to put it up. They can come out of that smooth game of theirs when things don't go too well and start to play one-on-one. There's a guy who'll bring you right back into it, serving.
He has great control when he's in the air. He just jumps above everyone and sort of gauges everything and takes his time. He's a great mid-air shooter.
John, in your 16 years in the NBA, you've guarded a lot of great basketball players. Is he as tough as they come?
Yes, I definitely believe so, because he can do so many things, and I don't think he knows what he's going to do half the time. He has such a repertoire.
One of the great things about Julius Erving, you talk about his shooting and his jumping ability, is his absolutely magnificent ball handling. There's very few guards that can handle a ball like Erving.
That's one of his outstanding features and characteristics. His hands are so large, and he's able to control the ball so well that it goes unnoticed by some people who just watch the shot.
And so we have a 50-39 score on the board with 5:21 to play in the first half. Julius Erving is at the free throw line. And so Julius Erving puts up his 7th point of the first half. Leading scorer is Collins with 9 for the 76ers. And it's a 10-point Knick lead. Phil Jackson gets caught reaching in as McGinnis was looking to take off. First on Phil Jackson, but the Knicks have some real foul problems right now.
Well, that's a silly foul now. McGinnis was on his way down. There was just no way that Phil Jackson was going to stop that break, nor put his hand on the ball. He just gambled. Of course, he caught McGinnis. That hurts you.
And again, the Knicks are in foul trouble, and it's allowing the 76ers to be in a penalty very midway through the quarter.
A lot of time left, and the 76ers shooting those penalty shots early. But the Knicks still holding to a 9-point lead. Now it's 8 as George McGinnis with that one-hand push shot of his. Little like your old friend Don Nelson.
Don had a great shot.
Doing pretty well in the playoffs, too.
Yes, indeed. And actually, a fellow who shoots a lot like Don is Sigma from Portland, or from Seattle, I'm sorry.
That was Jim Clemens with the left-hander to give the Knicks the 10-point lead again. The Knicks are 9 of 11 from the free throw line, almost 82%. The 76ers have hit only 4 of 10. That's a big statistic in that the 76ers that were dominant in free throws in the first 3 games. They had 38 more than New York. Now the 76ers come right back as Bryant has his first points, and George McGinnis wants to get it down to Joe Bryant.
Nothing like being a little lucky, right?
Tough basket. Actually, George could have passed the ball down the floor right as he intercepted the ball because Bryant was ahead of the play and could have had an easy layup.
San Antonio is leading Washington 43-36 in the second period. Mendy?
Let's watch this now. George McGinnis will lead the fast break. He'll very seldom pass it off. He'll take it down as far as he can on the dribble. And Joe Bryant with a mismatch now, just tinkling that ball through the hoop. We should mention right now, Don, that there's a mismatch in the backcourt with Joe Bryant. He's 6'10". He's playing against Jimmy Clemens, and he can handle the ball extremely well. And when you've got that kind of an advantage, they're bound to get Joe Bryant down low, John, I believe, and probably work on Jimmy Clemens.
Well, they'll try and do that. And the other thing that you don't want to do is go to that exclusively because you can throw your offense off. But on the other hand, what Jimmy has to do is try and use some of his quickness against Joe up and down the floor and get him guessing a little bit and get him in a position where he's able to cause another mismatch at the other end.
At Ticketron outlets and through charges.
Try to get a little audio of this. 76ers next Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. The 3-on-3 competition. Teams are composed of current NBA and former NBA stars, plus a celebrity. The teams next week will be Pistol Pete Maravich, Billy Cunningham, the coach of these 76ers, and LeVar Burton, who was so brilliant in Roots. They'll be going against Rick Barry, Seattle coach Lenny Wilkins, and Kent McCord of Adam 12 fame. That's 3-on-3 next Sunday at 1 o'clock here on CBS. With John Havlicek and Mendy Rudolph, this is Don Criqui at Madison Square Garden. We have 4 minutes and 10 seconds left to play in the first half. The Knicks lead 52-46. They've led twice by as many as 11. These 76ers get that running game going, and all of a sudden it tightens up in a hurry as Gandrasek puts the ball inbounds to Ray Williams. Jim McMillan, Bob McAdoo in there now, calling for the ball, goes right back to Williams. Here's McMillan. They're looking to go to McAdoo down low, and he has it against Caldwell Jones, who blocked the shot and blocked Bob McAdoo. He'll shoot it twice.
Darryl Dawkins didn't totally agree with that foul. It looked to me as Caldwell Jones had a lot of ball. Darryl Dawkins, the man-child. Unbelievable that he'd be a junior right now in college.
He still has 2 coming.
Don, we talked about Joe Bryant playing the backcourt for Philadelphia. To counteract that, what Willis Reed has done right now, he's brought Glenn Gondrusick in to play backcourt along with Ray Williams. Now that'll bring a little bit of height advantage and sort of, I would say, slacken off Joe Bryant's ability to get down low, John.
Well, that's true. And at the other end, the situation is that Williams was shooting over just about every other guard. So now they're going to play.
Whoop, here comes the doctor. Julius Erving so nicely puts the ball up in a hurry to draw the shooting foul while he saw those Knicks in the air converging on him.
Julius Erving will be in great position right now on the pass-off. The shot will go up, the pass-off goes off. Now watch Julius. He'll come in, perfectly time the ball, and he'll go for the foul.
Phil Jackson gets the personal foul.
As I failed to complete that last sentence, Joe Bryant will be guarding Williams at the other end with a decided defensive height advantage.
The average Philadelphia 76er stands 6'7" and weighs 209 pounds. The average Knick weighs 209 pounds but stands 6'5". But you get so many different combinations in there. The chemistry might be you might have a 6'9" team in, or a 6'4" if you go with those small guys who can run and shoot. And that's the chess game as the coaches match up. 3:40 to go now in the first half. 52-47 New York. Knicks in white with the ball. Jimmy McMillan feeds off to Glenn Gondrzak, the rookie from Nevada, Las Vegas.
Oh, that's good ball movement, I'll tell you.
Very nice
Jimmy
play.
McMillan moving beautifully without the ball, and Glenn Gondrzak going to the hoop.
Caldwell Jones. Here's Julius Erving as the 76ers are going to the perimeter offense. That's got it. McGinnis was a little rough in there. They got him for it.
And the crowd noise that you hear is the hand against McGinnis from these New York fans for him missing the dunk that was unmolested. Of course, it wouldn't have counted anyhow, but there's the foul, and there's the loose ball foul. McGinnis misses that dunk.
George was a little mad at himself for missing that layup and went after the ball a little too strongly.
So the Knicks have a 7-point lead right now, and Bill Cunningham is, I don't even call him upset. He'd like to see things going a little better as it did in the first 3 games. Doug Collins back on the floor. Penalty in effect for both teams. So now we have 3:12 left to go in the first half. 55-47. Joe Bryant working on Haywood. Collins is free to score.
Next lead, 55-49.
We welcome our Washington San Antonio viewers back at Madison Square Garden. This is Don Criqui with Mendy Rudolph and John Havlicek. 2:54 to play in the first half. And the Knicks are holding to a 55-49 lead, and Bob McAdoo, fouled by Caldwell Jones, goes to the line. McAdoo so far in the game has scored 10 points. Knicks are playing a good team game. They've been giving up the ball to each other, which they've been somewhat criticized to going to one-on-one when things did not go well. They've had leads of 11 twice. Philadelphia's cut it down to 3, but the Knicks have maintained their advantage. Free shot for Joe Bryant. Well, John, they caught Doug Collins on the sideline. Got him on 7 on the stripe. Here's Monroe back in. You know, you were talking, John Havlicek, at the outset of the game of the importance of the Knicks not trying to run for 3-4 periods with Philadelphia. And they've done that very nicely of slowing the game down and taking Philadelphia away from the run.
Well, they're trying to be in a situation where if they don't have the break, they're going to end up with a percentage shot. If they have the break, they will take advantage of it.
And there's that transition game at Philadelphia. Julius Erving with a great lead pass down to All World, Lloyd free, and he just pumped it up.
And it's a 6-point lead. Here's McAdoo putting up a high arcing shot, had to get way up to get it over Caldwell Jones. And now Julius Erving leads to McAdoo. He'll shoot 3 times to make 2 if need be, but as you see, could not get the driving shot with 1:57 to play in the first half. The score 57-51 New York. McAdoo shoots the free throws.
Bob McAdoo, 3 chances to make 2.
Julius Erving on that last play, Don, didn't want to touch the ball because he thought he might have walked with it, made a bad pass. McAdoo come on down and drove between 2 Philadelphia players looking for the 3-point play, and he didn't make it.
One more.
Here's the play I'm talking about. Now watch Julius. There he is. He touched the ball with 2 hands, did not want to pick it up again, and in so doing turned it over.
And so with McAdoo converting the free throws, the Knicks go up by 8. McAdoo has 14. The top point producer in the game for New York. Lloyd Free, nobody picked him up. Everybody was.
They cleared out the right side for him, and he didn't get help from any of the weak sides. So when you go into a situation like that, you better be sure you have some help against a guy like Free.
Jimmy McMillan gets the offensive board. McAdoo fighting for the ball, and Julius Erving comes up with it. And it comes back inbounds to New York, much to the dismay of Julius Erving, who doesn't protest that often.
No one could find the handle on that, but Julius really doesn't complain that much, so I'm sure he thought it should have gone the other way.
Here come the Sixers as Doug Collins whip cracks down the break.
Julius Erving with a great height advantage over Jimmy McMillan. He looked to go one-on-one against him, and he did, and he scored.
He's not tentative either. He hammers it down. Bangs it in off the glass.
You try and take away that bank shot, make him go baseline if you can, so he can't use that board, because he certainly is a great board shooter.
San Antonio's leading Washington 47-43 at the half. We have 50 seconds to go in the first half here at Madison Square Garden. McAdoo way up just before the shot clock expired. Here come the Sixers. Looking to get back to within 2. They do. So the Knick lead of 11 is now down to 2.
Julius Erving, John, has turned it on the second quarter. He has become the Julius Erving that I know so well and that you know.
Well, after that one particular play where he turned it over, he wanted to start to do something positive. So that time he filled the lane very well and doesn't.
We'll see Julius Erving go to work here as he now has 11 points.
With Doug Collins coming down as far as he can with the ball, making the Knicks commit themselves, and Julius Erving going to the hoop. And when you penetrate like that on a fast break, that's what you look to do. Have the defense commit themselves so you can find the open man.
McAdoo blocked by Caldwell Jones, a clean block, and Jones at 7 feet leads the break. But Lloyd Free lost the handle, and he's called for a travel, so the Knicks get it inbounds. They lead by just 2.
I don't think I've seen anyone bother McAdoo as much as Jones is bothering this particular game.
All right, here's Ray Williams now as the Knicks play for the final shot. Game is down to 6 seconds. Jimmy McMillan has to force a shot. Right back up. It did not. Top point producer in the game for New York. Lloyd Free, nobody picked him up. Everybody was.
They cleared out the right side for him, and he didn't get help from any of the weak sides. So when you go into a situation like that, you better be sure you have some help against a guy like Free.
Jimmy McMillan gets the offensive board. McAdoo fighting for the ball, and Julius Erving comes up with it. And it comes back inbounds to New York, much to the dismay of Julius Erving, who doesn't protest that often.
No one could find the handle on that, but Julius really doesn't complain that much, so I'm sure he thought it should have gone the other way.
Here come the Sixers as Doug Collins whip cracks down the break.
Julius Erving with a great height advantage over Jimmy McMillan. He looked to go one-on-one against him, and he did, and he scored.
He's not tentative either. He hammers it down. Bangs it in off the glass.
You try and take away that bank shot, make him go baseline if you can, so he can't use that board, because he certainly is a great board shooter.
San Antonio's leading Washington 47-43 at the half. We have 50 seconds to go in the first half here at Madison Square Garden. McAdoo way up just before the shot clock expired. Here come the Sixers. Looking to get back to within 2. They do. So the Knick lead of 11 is now down to 2.
Julius Erving, John, has turned it on the second quarter. He has become the Julius Erving that I know so well and that you know.
Well, after that one particular play where he turned it over, he wanted to start to do something positive. So that time he filled the lane very well and doesn't.
We'll see Julius Erving go to work here as he now has 11 points.
With Doug Collins coming down as far as he can with the ball, making the Knicks commit themselves, and Julius Erving going to the hoop. And when you penetrate like that on a fast break, that's what you look to do. Have the defense commit themselves so you can find the open man.
McAdoo blocked by Caldwell Jones, a clean block, and Jones at 7 feet leads the break. But Lloyd Free lost the handle, and he's called for a travel, so the Knicks get it inbounds. They lead by just 2.
I don't think I've seen anyone bother McAdoo as much as
top point producer in the game for New York. Lloyd Free, nobody picked him up. Everybody was.
They cleared out the right side for him, and he didn't get help from any of the weak sides. So when you go into a situation like that, you better be sure you have some help against a guy like Free.
Jimmy McMillan gets the offensive board. McAdoo fighting for the ball, and Julius Erving comes up with it. And it comes back inbounds to New York, much to the dismay of Julius Erving, who doesn't protest that often.
No one could find the handle on that, but Julius really doesn't complain that much, so I'm sure he thought it should have gone the other way.
Here come the Sixers as Doug Collins cracks down the break.
Julius Erving with a great height advantage over Jimmy McMillan. He looked to go one-on-one against him, and he did, and he scored.
He's not tentative either. He hammers it down. Bangs it in off the glass.
You try and take away that bank shot, make him go baseline if you can, so he can't use that board, because he certainly is a great board shooter.
San Antonio's leading Washington 47-43 at the half. We have 50 seconds to go in the first half here at Madison Square Garden. McAdoo way up just before the shot clock expired. Here come the Sixers, looking to get back to within 2. They do. So the Knick lead of 11 is now down to 2.
Julius Erving, John, has turned it on in the second quarter. He has become the Julius Erving that I know so well and that you know.
Well, after that one particular play where he turned it over, he wanted to start to do something positive. So that time he filled the lane very well and doesn't.
We'll see Julius Erving go to work here as he now has 11 points.
With Doug Collins coming down as far as he can with the ball, making the Knicks commit themselves, and Julius Erving going to the hoop. And when you penetrate like that on a fast break, that's what you look to do. Have the defense commit themselves so you can find the open man.
McAdoo blocked by Caldwell Jones, a clean block, and Jones at 7 feet leads the break. But Lloyd Free lost the handle, and he's called for a travel, so the Knicks get it inbounds. They lead by just 2.
I don't think I've seen anyone bother McAdoo as much as Jones is bothering this particular game.
All right, here's Ray Williams now as the Knicks play for the final shot. Game is down to 6 seconds. Jimmy McMillan has to force a shot. Right back up, it did not go, and so after 2 periods of play, the Knicks and the 76ers go off the floor with the white-clad New York Knicks holding to a 2-point lead, 59-57.
From the top man right down to the bottom man. It just passes right down the line. Everybody pushes for quality.
Willie Rawls, utility man. This is who we are and what we do at General Motors.
My job is to replace any absentees. I'm here, there, all over the plant. Yeah, you're not tied down to one job all the time. You're around different jobs. Metal finishing, welding, soldering. But soldering, I think I enjoy soldering more than any other job I've done because there's a lot of skill in that. Yeah, the fellas keep something going all the time. It's never dull around there. Yeah, they get along very good. Yeah, union's good. Yeah, the people on the line, they have a lot of interest in the cars. If I go out to buy a car, that's where I'd go, looking for a General Motors car. Because I'm right there in the plant and I see how they're built, see the quality that goes into them.
General Motors, people building transportation to serve people.
We're the Van Arsdales, Tom and Dick. We're identical twins, and we drink identical beers. Light beer from Miller. We love it. The best thing about light beer is it's less filling. Great taste. Less filling. It's got 1/3 less calories than the regular beer. Great taste, Tom. Less filling. And I'm not Tom. You are. I'm Dick. You think you are, but you never were.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less. Every weekend, you go to war against an army of grass and weeds. To win the battle, you need the ultimate weapon, a Weed Eater brand trimmer. A Weed Eater trimmer mows, trims, and edges quickly and safely with nylon line. For a trimmer that does what no other kind of tool can do, look for the Weed Eater brand, the ultimate weapon for people with better things to do than their lawn. Call this toll-free number for your nearest Weed Eater dealer.
Hi, everyone. I'm Don Cricky, and today the CBS horse competition continues with second round play. Basically, horse is the game where you must duplicate your opponent's shot or be assessed a penalty letter. 5 misses means 5 letters, and the player is out. Today, you'll see the big power forward from the world champion Trailblazers, Maurice Lucas, go against Ron Boone of Kansas City, 2 gifted shooters, and here's Mendy Rudolph with the rules.
The basic rules of horse are as follows. The player in control must describe his shot beforehand. Now, 2 consecutive shots from the same area are not allowed unless someone moves at least 5 feet away. There are trick shots allowed. However, the same trick shot cannot be attempted more than once in the contest. The flip of the coin will determine who goes first. Now, there's going to be disputes out there, and if there are, my word will be the final judge.
Maurice Lucas won the flip, and he'll lead away with that patented hook shot of his, and now Ron Boone must keep pace. And he does.
Right hook down baseline.
And so the shooting advantage goes over to Ron Boone, and that's the one he gets most of his points with the Kings with, the outside jumper. Boone is one of the most durable players in basketball. In fact, has not missed a game in competition through college or the pros. He just completed his 8th year in professional basketball. The first letter goes up on Lucas, and Boone still has the shooting advantage.
Bank.
Maurice Lucas, H.O.
Now, Ron Boone missed his next shot, and so Maurice Lucas has the shooting advantage, but as you saw, he's down 2 letters to none. Boone is 6'2", which of course isn't big by NBA standards, but he has the jumping ability and the strength to play against the big guys inside.
Ron Boone, first letter.
The left-hand hook shot puts a letter up on Boone. And Lucas at 6'9", 225, just gliding in to follow his shot off the glass.
Left-handed, off the glass. Left-handed.
Tip shots with the left hand, and Lucas with the shooting advantage, but trailing 2 letters to 1.
Left hand on the reverse side.
Ooh, up and out, and he got it down. It's a little tough run now. Ron Boone.
Letter, Ron Boone.
And we're even.
Straight over.
And so Lucas, with the match tied up, takes it inside again with the right hand. A lot of strategy involved here. Lucas, with that big reach, gives a little bit too much for Ron Boone to keep up with. Now they match up the hook shots. And the shooting advantage goes to Boone, and he goes right outside where he likes to be.
Letter, Maurice Lucas.
And again, we're even.
I'm going to hit it off the glass, turn around.
And swish it?
No, yeah, turn around, and no glass when it goes out my hand.
Right, okay.
So after Lucas gets the shooting advantage back, he picks up a turning shot that Ron Boone stays right with.
Left hand reverse.
Lucas is so very important to the Portland Trailblazers in that current fight they're having with the Seattle Supersonics in the Western playoffs.
Left hand hook.
Walton is back, but he's not at full strength yet after being out since February to the playoffs.
Letter, Ron Boone.
So now Boone, a letter from elimination. Lucas missed his next shot, and Ron Boone gets the shooting advantage back and goes a little bit schoolyard to try to get the big guy.
Woo!
Yes. Luke's going to give it his best shot. And the big guy got us down.
360. Icy man, I can't get him back inside. Oh.
360.
That's easy.
Let's see if it is, Luke. Not that easy. We got two guys with a problem here.
With the letter S.
Uh-oh.
Backboard.
Ron Boone's ace failed him.
New life.
New life has both players a letter from elimination, but Lucas with the all-important shooting advantage right now. And that has been a big number for him. You'll recall he put 2 letters up on Ron Boone with the hook shot. Now he gets the 3rd and final up, the 5th letter of the match. And so Ron Boone goes out. And Maurice Lucas advances in the 2nd round. And we're going to meet the big guy now. Maurice Lucas, that was a very calculated effort on your part and also of Ron Boone. Nobody was throwing anything away there.
No, I think I tried to take him basically inside, work on a big man's game, just to throw him off of his timing a little bit. He's a great shooter. There's no doubt about it. He's out shooting me by, I don't know what his percentage points are. But I tried to just keep him inside where the big men play.
And you did it very well. We'll see you in the rounds to come. Maurice Lucas of the world champion Portland Trailblazers. So he advances. The loser in the 2nd round receives a check for $1,000 here at the Omni International Complex. Join us next time when 2 sharpshooters, Bob McAdoo and Pete Maravich, are matched up.
The NBA on CBS will continue after this word from your local station. Don't miss the National Cheerleading Championships, a high-spirited special starring Cheryl Ladd tomorrow night on CBS.
Into John when we're talking here. At the conclusion of today's game and each of our NBA telecasts during the season, we'll be selecting the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game. In conjunction with this award, Chevrolet will present a check for $1,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of the player's college or university. Any student may be eligible to benefit from these scholarship funds. Today's winner will be announced at the end of the telecast. Mendy, you and John and I will be voting for the MVP, and should we disagree, our producer Bill Barnes will cast the deciding vote. Right now at the halftime, after the Knicks led by as many as 13, you'll recall they were up 50-37. The 76ers have come right back, and the Philadelphia 76ers are now down by just 2 as they come back out onto the playing floor. I'm Don Crickey with Mendy Rudolph and John Havlicek. John, what's going to happen in the last 2 periods?
Well, toward the end of the 2nd quarter, Philadelphia made a couple of turnovers, and I think they got peeved at themselves, and they decided to turn it on a little bit and actually cut the lead from, 13-2 at this point. So they've had the Knicks in foul trouble in both quarters. So if they can continue to do that, New York's going to run out of personnel.
Andy, what do you think?
Well, as John said, there was 13 points lead for the Knicks, and they cut it down to 2. I thought very early in the game that the 76ers were rather tentative, Don, in their shot selection. They weren't really playing into the game. However, there was a play or two that Julius Erving came involved in in the 2nd quarter. And with Julius Erving in there and Lloyd Freed, they cut this lead down. So it's going to be a tough 2nd half for both clubs, I think.
One thing about those 76ers, they come on like a big freight train, and they are never out of the game, as we've seen, rallying back to within 2. We're set for the 2nd half.
New tires for your car are on their way to Sears Tire and Auto Centers. A big national truckload offer on Sears Guardsman steel belted radials for your car. Our lowest prices ever, as low as $35.25. And there's truckload values on Guardsman 4-ply, too. Everyday low prices start at $18.88 for new tires for your car.
Truck on down, Sears.
Ferguson! Sarge, do you have Gillette Track 2 blade I could borrow?
Got an injector, it shaves clothes.
No! Track 2 shaves me closer than any single blade. Closer!
My razor, Sarge?
Track 2 is more comfortable than old Ironsides.
The twin blade Gillette Track 2 does shave you closer with less irritation than any single blade.
2-day pass for anybody with a Track 2.
To guys who use Gillette Track 2, no single blade will do.
Here's a few tips on how to get out of an airport fast. 1, join the #1 club and reserve a car with Hertz. 2, have your license and credit card ready, because Hertz will be ready for you. 3, need directions? Ask Hertz. They know the shortest routes. Nobody can get you out of an airport faster. Nobody can get you out of an airport faster.
Go, Jules! Go!
Rent a Ford from Hertz.
The superstar in rent-a-car.
Right.
When our fans say thank you, it makes me feel terrific. And I'd like to tell you how you can feel terrific. Many of you give to United Ways every year, but I bet some of you don't really know where your dollars go. I do. As a volunteer, I've seen your contributions at work. You can too. Visit your local United Way agencies. Believe me, you'll feel great when people say, thanks to you, it works. For all of us, the United Way.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Basketball Association. The NBA on CBS is sponsored by Low & Brow, light special and dark special when it's time for the taste of a truly great beer. The Continental Insurance Company. And by all the new 1978 Chevrolets, now at your Chevy dealers everywhere.
Here at the half, it is the Knicks 59, the Sixers 57. Leading scorer for New York in the first half was Earl Monroe. With his best game of this series so far, he has 11 points. As you see, the Knicks shooting over 50%. Philadelphia tailed off a little, but still a good team total. As the Knicks have cooled off a little on the free throws, and the rebounding always a big factor. Offensive rebounds. That is probably the one area that the 76ers often give up more to their opposition than they get. The offensive rebound. You see defensively they have a 5-rebound advantage. Leading scorers Earl Monroe for New York with 11. McMillan has 9. Ray Williams comes off the bench to score 8. Shelton has 6. Beard has 4. Haywood but 2. Clemens with 2. Gondrzak with 3. The 76ers led by Julius Erving and Doug Collins. Erving with 12. Collins with 11. Lloyd Free hit 9. McGinnis had 8. As Philadelphia eased right back into the game, and there is Big Daddy D, Darryl Dawkins, ambling off the court, ready to go to battle.
And Philadelphia, the first half, Don, really didn't play that well, in my opinion. However, they only find themselves 2 down, and that shows you the firepower and the strength of this Philadelphia club, John. What do you think?
Well, after the way the things have gone for the 76ers, beating them 3 games in a row, I think they did come out a little tentative. It's not a thing of being overconfident, but a thing of being a little passive because you feel like you can beat them at any time, and they found themselves in a ball game and they started to turn around a little bit.
So Bill Cunningham sends his 5 starters for the 3rd period out. Henry Bibby and Doug Collins in the backcourt, Julius Erving, George McGinnis, and Caldwell Jones up front. Bob McAdoo in there for the Knicks, along with Jim McMillan, Spencer Haywood, Earl Monroe, and Butch Beard. So we'll see how this affects, John, the Knicks after having the 13-point lead and the Sixers rallying back in the late minutes of the 2nd period to cut it to just 2 if the Sixers can keep up the momentum.
In the whole series, the Knicks have only been outshot from the field by a total of 2 or 3 field goals, I think. So the 76ers have been winning at the line.
Yeah, that's right. They've outscored the Knicks by 38 in the first 3 games from the free throw line.
There was a clear out for Caldwell Jones that time, and again, we didn't have any weak side help.
And all of a sudden, the 76ers have come back to tie the game at 59. Earl Monroe goes down low. McAdoo gets the feed from Haywood, and McAdoo gets it back for the Knicks.
Good play by Bob. He gives Caldwell Jones a little head fake to the baseline. Caldwell Jones went for it. McAdoo pulled up and shot over him, and that's not an easy thing to do.
Just enough to freeze it.
They're posting McGinnis down low off the baseline where he likes to be, with Haywood against him. Irving fires away. And Earl Monroe didn't have to leave the ground to get the defensive board. Butch Beard right down the middle. Dropping it off to Earl Monroe. And we'll have a foul call as 3 Sixers converge on Earl Monroe.
Well, that's team defense. It was Doug Collins, Henry Bibby, and Caldwell Jones all on top of that ball. And that's what the 76ers will do this second half to throw the Knicks off their game.
Boy, that Jones, he just gets up and slaps it away like it's a tennis ball.
But that's what's nice about blocking a shot, John, is keeping the ball in play. If you're going to block it, make sure you just don't knock it out of bounds. Someone that you were very familiar with, Bill Russell was able to do that many, many times.
Probably the master at doing that type of thing. And that time, Caldwell Jones jumped so easily.
Yeah, it might be more impressive to whack it up into row L or something, but you get that fast break going, you just tip it off. Here's Lonnie Shelton back in. I guess Russell was the all-time great, wasn't he?
I would think so.
Keep it in play. Comes back into the Knicks. Last touch by a Sixer. Knicks are leading by 2, 61-59. Led by 5 at the end of the first period, by 2 at the half. McAdoo goes up in the air. Not quite enough there. And Caldwell Jones comes out of the bunch with the ball. No travel, but the Knicks get the ball. 2 on 2, 3 on 3. McAdoo didn't follow the shot in. The Sixers get the defensive board.
Caldwell Jones intimidating everyone underneath.
Doug Collins.
And Doug Collins ties the game for the 76ers at 61. As Collins has now scored 13. Another area that Caldwell Jones is like Bill Russell. Neither of them average many points a game. You won with him. Caldwell Jones only averaging 6 a game in his first 2 seasons with Philadelphia.
Cutting off the baseline well that time. Again, Caldwell Jones, very, very tough on defense. Forces McMillan to take the bad bounce. He'll go out of bounds on the play, causing a Knicks turnover.
And the game is tied at 61.
If you wanted to protect the things you own from the risks of this risky world, you'd want a whole army. This is the Continental Army. Its mission is to protect you, your home, your business, and your car against loss. Anywhere, anytime. If you want that kind of protection, call up the Continental, because nobody spells protection like the Continental Insurance Companies.
See what's new today.
Last spring, 227 specially equipped Chevy Nova police cars were delivered to the Jacksonville, Florida Sheriff's Department. Now, that's a tall order, but no surprise, because law enforcement agencies in 47 states have made Chevy Nova America's best-selling police compact. Now, a lot of the things the police look for in a new car are the same things you'd look for in a new car. Reliability, performance, and value. Chevy Nova, a wanted car, now more than ever.
When you order a beer, do like Smoking Joe. Order light beer from Miller and say no more. It's got a third less calories than the regular beer. Light tastes great, y'all, but listen here. It's not the thing that makes me shout. Light's less filling, hey, that really knocks me out.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Sunday on Dallas, 2 gunmen invade the ranch, and their target is the Ewing women. The drama and passion of Dallas. Sunday at 10, 9 Central in the Mountain.
Now for a report on San Antonio and Washington, let's go back to Frank Lieber and Pete Maravich at Landover, Maryland.
Welcome to the fans who have just joined us here in Washington. Bullets in white and the Spurs in black, and we got a basketball game for you. 7:07 left in the third period with the score tied at 55.
They could have went ahead there, but Dandridge just lost the ball. But more important is the fact that Mata jumped off the bench and is really showing excitement for this team and enthusiasm. And this is what they're trying to do right now.
Iceman put that one up.
There's a
Dandridge. 3-on-1 break. Dandridge. Oberding gets the rebound. It's tied at 55 with 6:40 left in the third period.
McGinnis agrees with the call. Little cha-cha before he went up for the second shot.
And now the Philadelphia 76ers go on defense as Butch Beard quarterbacks the team down court against the aggressive defense of Henry Bibby. He always pressures the ball, Bibby. Never lets up on it. A lot of body checking inside there, John Havlicek.
They're playing very aggressive, and the Knicks better get back because here they come.
That's right. Talked about that transition game. They make the transition with a full court pass a lot of times.
George had Doug Collins in the corner wide open that time, failed to see him.
Oh, Jim McMillan hit off tackle but didn't have the football. But Earl Monroe takes it, and down with the rebound is McGinnis. Lead to Irving. Watch this.
Nothing more beautiful in the world to watch Julius Irving on a full court pass. He times the ball beautifully and just stuffs the ball down. Magnificent player.
And the Sixers took the lead 63-61 with that stuff shot by Irving. Now they look to go back inside to Collins. And Beard gets the rebound. Blows on by Doug Collins. Butch Beard to Shelton. Blocked by Caldwell. Boy, this Jones has really turned into a shot blocker.
That was a beautiful play by Caldwell Jones. He timed that play perfectly. And of course, Willis Reed doesn't agree with it, but it was a great shot. Now here's that previous play, the great lead pass. And there is the tremendous agility of Julius Irving. What a great ball player he is.
Caldwell Jones fulfilling a role very well.
McAdoo gets it out to Monroe, and Earl Monroe says, hey, let's settle down here and talk this thing over as we have 7:59 to play in the third period, and the Sixers hold to a 2-point lead.
Okay, big, green G. If National's going to be the best car rental company, we have got to hustle. Schultz, the last reservation call.
9 seconds, sir.
Walsh, green light service means
Fast service, sir.
Willoughby. Before we rent this new Chevy, we
check all 10 items on the maintenance checklist.
And then
we sign it. Sir.
Okay, team, let's go.
10,000 people working for you. The big green team.
Willoughby.
We're National Car.
Golfing isn't any fun from the grass's point of view. If anybody understands that, it's O.M. Scott, the ITT company whose products help keep the grass up to par on thousands of America's golf courses and millions of home lawns. Scott's, the ITT lawn people, have helped grow more fine lawns than you can shake a stick at.
Enjoying the trip in your GM car?
Oh, yes.
Want to keep that great GM feeling?
Oh, you bet.
Then shake hands with Mr. Goodwrench. He's dedicated to improved customer care at more than 6,000 participating GM dealers.
You want genuine GM parts. You want your car fixed right on time. That's what I want too. Caring about your GM car helps keep me in business.
Keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts.
Mr. Doug Collins on the playing floor at Madison Square Garden with just under 8 minutes to go in the third period. The 76ers, trailing by 2 at the half, have now taken the lead 63-61. Lonnie Shelton coming out hot. McAdoo and McMillan down low. McMillan trying to pick for McAdoo, trying to get rid of that big Caldwell Jones who's harassed McAdoo throughout this playoff series. McAdoo gets a free shot. Somebody knocked George McGinnis down flat.
Lonnie Shelton just banged in there pretty good. And this is going to be tough at the other end because you have two muscle men playing each other. George has a decided quickness advantage, though, I believe.
I think George is upset as he shoves at Shelton. Game is tied at 63. Julius Irving feeds off to Caldwell Jones. Irving gets it back. He's only great.
You have to block him out every time or he's going to go get it.
He's something.
Knicks have no one back right now for floor balance. Good thing they made it.
McAdoo now has 20, and the game is again tied at 65. So both teams now in a checker game as they're matching up moves. The running game slows down, and the pattern offense as they set picks down low. This is like football inside. Bibby guns.
Ran the clock down as far as he could, took the shot he didn't want to take, but he made it. Philadelphia moving the ball right well now.
Philadelphia again with a 2-point lead, 67-65. Here's Lonnie Shelton. Loses the ball, but gets it back. There's a couple of 76ers on the ball all the time. Pearl puts one down. Collins went down without too much help.
Collins went down with a little bit of acting that time. He felt a little pressure from Monroe, and he took the dive. No call.
And we're tied up now at 67-67. McMillan, as the 76ers, with all that foot speed, get right back to shut off what looked like an overmatch, a one-man breakaway. McMillan loses Irving. Whoa! Big play by Jimmy McMillan.
Nice move. He got Caldwell Jones up in the air, and if he would have shot it on one side of the basket, he would have certainly had it blocked, but he was able to go to the other side using the basket as a screen.
When you used to do that in Boston, John, they used to call that a runner.
Good anticipation.
Boy, McMillan is good hands. Here's Beard moving. And all of a sudden, the Knicks, trailing by 2, rally back for 3 straight field goals and take a 4-point lead, 71-67.
And Jimmy McMillan playing beautiful basketball right now. He overplayed Julius, stole the ball, looking desperately for a nick, and finds Butch Beard for the fast break. And now the fans hollering defense, because that's how they're going to have to do it.
Henry Bibby pulls up at the free throw line, and Henry Bibby draws a shooting foul. So if he can convert the 3-point play, the Sixers will be back to within 1.
And I'll tell you, anytime you think you got these 76ers down, forget about it. Because they have so much firepower, they can come back and beat you within 30 seconds or 40 seconds. They can put points on the board faster than any club I've ever seen, John.
No question about it.
They can ring that cash register. The Philadelphia 76ers, if you joined us late, they were down by as many as 13 in this game. Came back to trail by 2. McMillan breaks free. How'd he do that?
McMillan setting up down on the other side. There was a stack play, and on the switch, someone failed to communicate. And Jimmy again moving without the ball.
So the Knicks lead by 3. McGinnis having a problem as the Knicks are now doubling up nicely on the ball on defense. George McGinnis bobbing and weaving and going back up to make it a 1-point game, New York, as McGinnis now has 10 points. Irving has 16.
So many big people fail to really block out. They rely on their jumping ability.
Good call. You watch Caldwell Jones now. Watch the arc of the ball.
Gets it.
The shot will go up, and there goes number 11 on the way down, goaltending.
We have a 3-point game here at Madison Square Garden. We welcome again our Washington San Antonio viewers as Julius Irving slams it down for Philadelphia. Bring the 76ers back to within 1, and he was fouled.
You just saw the McGinnis-Irving show. Now watch this. McGinnis penetrates to the lane. He'll see Julius going to the hoop, and Julius over Ma McAdoo. What a magnificent player this Julius Irving is. I just can't say too much about this guy. He is just a super basketball player, John.
He certainly is, and George did a real good job that time. In going to the hoop, he drew 2 defensive players, dished it off to Julius, and if you give him one step back close, forget it.
Now the up-court pass goes to Earl Monroe as the Knicks holding to a 1-point lead, 75-74, and we have 3:40 to play in the 3rd period. Julius Irving fires off Collins. Lost the handle. Up-court pass to Butch Beard. Butch Beard decides not to put it back up. He'll set it down as the 24-second clock rings up again for New York. Knicks leading 75-74. Down low to McAdoo. Bob McAdoo gets the roll. He has 22, and the Knicks have a 3-point lead.
Bob McAdoo weaved himself off the baseline, caught Caldwell Jones napping that time. They hit him with the open shot, and that's what he's got to do. He's got to move without the basketball, as John said earlier.
Julius Irving looking for the opening to form. Bibby can't get the roll, and McAdoo blocking out nicely, had position inside on Caldwell Jones. Butch Beard takes it down. The Knicks, their lead taken away, but they have it back right now. They lead by 3, and here's a loose ball foul on Shelton.
Lonnie Shelton picks up another foul, going for the rebound that he should not have gone for. Now watch this, he's out of position, causing the foul on McGinnis. Sometimes you just got to back off those plays.
All across our land, people know our brand. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Spark plugs by AC. We'll help you smile throughout the miles. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Spark plugs by AC. So when you want to go, we're the name to know. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Spark plugs by AC. Firing spark plugs by AC.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Where you been? Well, it wasn't easy getting tickets for this game.
Here, Bob. Eddie, I know exactly what I want. I want the biggest steak you got and a bottle of Lowenbrow.
Steak and Lowenbrow. Dolan, you're a genius.
When you want the taste of a truly great beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Here's to the chef.
Here's to the bartender.
How can we stop the spread of pollution when even paving a mountain road contaminates once clear air? One answer, a water-based emulsified asphalt developed by the people of Phillips Petroleum that paves without pollution and uses 30% less petroleum than conventional asphalt, helping protect the environment while we make fine products for your car. That's performance from Phillips Petroleum, the performance company.
We have 2:44 left to play in the third period here at Madison Square Garden, as Coach Cunningham now sees his club down by 2 at the half, up by 3, and now down by 3, 77-74. Collins brings the ball up. Bibby working away from the ball, goes into the far corner. Irving comes out. Caldwell Jones positions low. Collins trying to play off the baseline against Earl Monroe. Boy, how do you stop that? Throw a net over him?
You really don't, because he is so quick.
77-76.
And Collins now has 15. They got a good one going down at Landover, as you see San Antonio holding to a 3-point lead. Caldwell Jones really asserting himself off both boards for Philadelphia, as the 76ers can take back the lead here if they hit it. Down by 1.
2 minutes.
Jones with the offensive rebound. Lots of chances for Philadelphia. Here's a long pass. Gondrzek ahead of Caldwell Jones, and nicely done by Glenn Gondrzek.
Very good play. He kept his body in such a position so that Caldwell Jones could not get through him. He protected the ball very well going to the hoop.
Haywood, McAdoo, and Shelton all have 4 personal fouls for New York. That's the problem. Glenn Gondrzek with a tough job of guarding Julius Irving. Basket goes. And Doug Collins can now lock the game up at 79 as he'll shoot the 3-point.
Doug Collins did that so well. He ran Earl Monroe into a pick set by Caldwell Jones, and in Earl's anxiety to get to the ball, he caused the foul. That Doug Collins, I'll tell you, I'd hate to watch him if I was a ball player, John.
He's very quick, and the thing is, he uses the picks effectively. When you come off a pick, you should be rubbing shoulders with your man rather than allowing that defense to fight through.
Collins said before this game, I don't know if we can sweep them, but we won't let up. Certainly the 76ers have not. Ray Williams gets a free one. Makes it work.
Good pass by Bob McAdoo. He saw the defense collapse. Ray Williams at the top of the key, and he hit him with the open pass.
And the Knicks now lead by 2, 81-79. Irving tries to gun the ball out off the bounce to Knicks. Julius Irving draws the shooting foul.
Gondrzek, very tough player to guard, Julius Irving. It was said earlier, John, that you compared Gondrzek with a guy named Hondo, that there was some player in the NBA that could ever possibly be another Havlicek. It was Gondrzek.
I like his style because I think that he comes out to play in every game, and of course a rookie's a person that's going to learn by experience, and the more time he gets, the better he's going to become.
The Knicks with a couple of rookies in there now, Gondrzek and Ray Williams. Jim Clemens working in the backcourt with Williams. McAdoo and Shelton down low. Williams moving nicely. Again, Caldwell Jones sweeps in like a big hawk and rips it down as the game is tied at 81. 35 seconds to go in the third period. Williams takes down the defensive board. He's confident, but he gave it to the wrong guy. Look at Julius Erving. He can do a 4.340 down the floor. Charge as Gondo took the charge and the ball goes back to New York.
Well, that's a good defensive play, I'll tell you. Well, you want to stand up right there and take that play. You got to give this rookie a lot of credit. He saw him coming. He knew he had to take his position. He did it, and he picked up the offensive foul. Great play by Gondo.
He will take the foul. He's a real hard-nosed kid, and he doesn't shy away from contact. He's got a couple of stitches above his eye.
I was going to say, he looks like he's been in tough with a 15 rounds. Here is Henry Bibby coming down, stealing the ball. We talked about you can't make a mistake against Bibby, and that cost the Knicks the lead for the moment, 83-81. Bill Cunningham up and down, shouting out instructions to his team.
By Caldwell Jones.
4 seconds.
And the instructions that he was shouting out, Don, was take the foul, because they had one to give. They didn't want New York to set up a play with 8 seconds or 7 seconds to play. This way they have to do it maybe 4 or 3.
It works, and so.
And that goes to show that the best laid plans of mice and men don't oftentimes work. Lonnie Shelton gets it off just in time and makes the hoop.
New around here? Sure got a nice motorcycle.
Oh, it's a new Honda Hawk Honda-matic.
Honda-matic?
No clutch.
No clutch. Well, beautiful wheels.
They're standard.
How does a little lady handle it?
Oh, new weight distribution. It feels light.
Someday I'd love to.
Yes?
Ride it.
Well, then go see your Honda dealer.
When you're on a Honda, you're really going strong.
The NBA on CBS will continue after this word from your local station. The Runaways, one a boy, the other a leopard, both seeking their freedom. Their story is a captivating special Tuesday on CBS.
Now let's update that San Antonio, Washington game again as we go to Frank Lever and Pete Maravich at Landover, Maryland.
Mike Green hits for San Antonio. And welcome to the fans who have just joined us here in Washington. Bullets and the Spurs in quite a battle, and San Antonio leads it 75-7. It's been 1 or 2 points difference here in the second half. Larry Wright gets 2.
That was a great penetrating move. One of the negative factors for Washington right now is the fact that Kupchak has only scored 1 point, and he's 0 for 5 from the floor, and he's a much better basketball player than that.
George Gervin trying to make his move one-on-one. Charlie Johnson is 6 feet tall trying to guard him. 10 minutes left to play in the fourth period. It's the Spurs 75, the Bullets 72.
Currently pushed Lonnie Shelton.
I think what he did here, Don, is probably locked his arm. Let's pick up number 53 as he comes into your picture. Does he lock his arm a little blindsided? Yeah, he sort of had him on the shoulder.
Billy Cunningham has made a change. He has Julius Erving guarding McAdoo now because McAdoo was giving Dawkins a little problem early in that, or late in that second quarter.
McAdoo goes right back up. He can fire it. And so with 11:29 to play in the game, the New York Knicks take the lead 85-83. McAdoo has now hit 24 to lead all scorers.
Darryl Dawkins didn't agree with that call, but what he did do was set the pick, and as soon as he felt a little contact, he went ahead and moved, and that's what he loves to do for Lloyd Freeze. Set the picks, and he tells Lloyd Freeze, shoot over me, baby, because if you miss it, I'll go get that rebound for you.
Be sure and stay tuned for the MVP award at the conclusion of the game. Ball comes back into the 76ers as Julius Erving sets to put it in play. 85-83 the count. The Knicks by 2, and the Sixers looking to come down and lock it up again.
Take it up, guys.
There are 10 lead changes in this game.
Gondrzick that time getting help from Lonnie Shelton right there, and that's what you got to do against Julius. It's tough to go one-on-one against him on defense. You got to have and need it. Look for help.
Joe Bryant.
Joe Bryant, a former #1 draft choice of Golden State. Unable to sign him, Golden State traded rights to him to Philadelphia. He played at LaSalle. Bryant ties the game, and Shelton breaks the tie.
Shelton has a little height advantage on Steve Mix, so they might go to him, although that time he was outside and took the shot. But I look for him to go inside against Steve.
Two Knicks fight for it, and Darryl Dawkins comes down with it. He watched that go through sitting on the floor as Dawkins went down, but he got the shot away and got it through.
That's a situation when he was on the floor, his man should have taken off the other end to try and get an advantage.
A poorly chosen shot by the rookie, and the ball comes back to the 76ers as they can break the tie and take the lead.
There's that mismatch between Joe Bryant and Jimmy Clemens.
Yep. Lloyd Freed tried to capitalize on it, but the ball was tipped away.
22nd timeout for injury, Philadelphia.
Darryl Dawkins now shaken up.
I think it's his left hand, Don. So on that last rebound, I think someone pushed a finger back. Al Domenico, Billy Cunningham right now coming out. Take a look at the big guy. Here's that last mismatch. There you see tremendous height advantage. Joe Bryant doesn't use it. He hits the open man, and of course the ball goes out of bounds. I suspect, John, they'll go to Joe Bryant a lot in the next few minutes.
Well, they'll try to, but as I said before, you don't want to get away from your game completely. But since they do have that mismatch, I feel that they will go to him.
Right now the game is tied at 87. This is the 12th time this game has been tied. We've had 6 lead changes. The Knicks have led by as many as 13.
I have Dawkins on a mismatch.
Not enough there, and McAdoo fields the ball, and the Knicks throw it away. Despite the best efforts of Glenn Gondrzick, who I think would jump into the engine of a jet plane.
Boy, he takes a header here. You got to watch this now. Neither player goes for it. Glenn Gondrzick, wow, what a shot he took, but he's out. Oh, he's on the court. What a hustling ball player this kid is.
Yes, he is. Both players thought that the other one was going to take it, and that happens sometimes.
Alphonse Gaston, huh?
He took a full header. Joe Bryant forces the shot, knocks it down.
There's the mismatch we were referring to.
Oh, you got it. He didn't even have to leave the ground, just gunned it right down, and he was looking to take it as the 76ers now lead 89-87. And Dawkins needs only one hand to take it down, and there is the Philadelphia running game as they switch from defense to offense so very sweetly. The Prince of Midair.
This is the point in the game where Willis Reed's got to do something because Philadelphia has caught fire. If they don't score here, the Knicks are going to be in a lot of trouble.
That's the time remaining, 8:45 to go. The Knicks have to get the lead back or that would end their season when that time runs out. And here comes Dawkins. Up to Julius Erving as McMillan and Monroe are coming back in. Don Murphy and Bob Rako officiating the game and very well.
This is what makes Philadelphia so tough because the forwards handle the ball as well as any guard on any other club, especially when Julius Erving is handling the ball on a fast break. And there was a foul and a loose ball on Glenn Gondrzick. McGinnis and Erving can handle that fast break as well as Free, as well as Collins, as well as anybody. And look at Lloyd Free. There's no range on this kid.
I've seen him do it so many times. Last year, he bombed us out one game in Boston.
Oh, and he starts to get hot. He'll throw it in from the locker room. Foul as Clemens gets the ball inside. Julius Erving blocked him and also blocking the shot. And right now the 76ers have their biggest lead.
Julius can't believe this call. It looked to me like he had all ball. Let's pick it up now. Here's the pass off and go to Jimmy Clemens. Julius looked like he had all ball. Of course, the officials had a better angle than I did, but it looked like a pretty good block from where we're sitting.
Anytime you hear Julius complain a little bit, I think that he feels that, you know, maybe they missed it.
So here's Jimmy Clemens, an alumnus of John Havlicek's University, Ohio State. Clemens, former MVP in the Big Ten. Gets a couple, and the Knicks trail by 4, 93-89. 8:15 to play in the game as Lloyd Free comes down full speed. Erving takes a look low, and Dawkins backs in on McAdoo. Clemens down in the corner to McMillan. Monroe harassed by Big Joe Bryant. Knicks gunning that ball around the perimeter, waiting for an open side. Nicely done by Clemens. And a foul on Lloyd Free.
Lloyd Free that time gambled the loss. He tried to overplay the ball and hit Monroe coming back.
Philadelphia has 3 team fouls. 3.
The New York front line here has been overworked slightly this game, Don, because of the ineffectiveness of Spencer Haywood. He hasn't played very much this ball game and only scored 2 points so far.
Monroe fires it down, and the Knicks are back to within 2, John.
They were within 2, and that time you had Jimmy McMillan in the corner also. There were about 3 men open, so they caught the defensive 76ers in a little lapse.
Lloyd Free was the last to touch it, and so the Knicks, down by 6, can now tie it up again if they can hit it here as Collins comes back into the game for Philadelphia.
You have the Knicks in there with their most experienced players and the 76ers also.
In the game now for the Knicks are Jim Clemens and Earl Monroe in the back line, Jim McMillan, Bob McAdoo, and Lonnie Shelton up front.
And Caldwell Jones, number 11.
Here is Caldwell Jones. Hasn't he been something? Has blocked about 6 shots, has had numerous rebounds. He's been the intimidator inside, the 7-footer for Philadelphia. 7 minutes to play in the game. Offensive foul is the signal at Shelton. And the Knicks want to talk it over.
That could put New York in a little bit of a problem. That is Shelton's 5th foul. And with 6:52 to go, Willis Reed's going to have to make a very big decision.
We cooked something special for dinner.
About half the house.
Now what? We can't stay here.
Can the insurance help?
That takes time.
Allstate helps right away. Our first concern is to take care of you.
Here's an advance for food and a place to stay.
Allstate Homeowners Insurance takes care of the damage, and you.
Can we get a place with a kitchen?
Sure. But let's eat out tonight.
Help when you need it. That's Allstate.
And that's a promise from us, the good hands people.
See what's new today in a Chevrolet.
Chevrolet Caprice and Impala wagons have more of the things wagon people want. A convenient door gate, quick and easy seat conversion, 2 lockable storage compartments, and a generous 4-foot wide cargo area. And for a full-size wagon, mileage is surprisingly good. See the new Chevrolet, America's best-selling full-size wagon, at your Chevrolet wagon stop.
For typing 4,280 letters, for filing 72 pounds of memoranda, for booking 247 flights, for making 502 appointments and breaking 124 gracefully, and saving the face of the boss on countless occasions, it is only fitting that during National Secretaries Week, we present you with this floral tribute.
Show your secretary some appreciation. Make an arrangement with your florist.
turnovers haven't been too bad. Philadelphia 18, New York 16 in a game this intense. What are the keys now, John Havlicek, down the stretch?
Well, with the Knicks being behind, they have to take a good shot every time down. They can't give up any cheap baskets. They have to have good floor balance. They can't allow offensive rebound baskets. Everyone has to be extremely determined at this point.
San Antonio's holding to a 3-point lead late in the fourth quarter. Doug Collins, that quick shot of his. The Knicks coaches talk about, they know it's coming. He goes down to the corner to work off a pick, but you can't get to him before he releases the ball. And Doug Collins now has 20. Julius Erving has 20. And here comes Lloyd Free.
You don't want to double team away from Collins, because if you do and he's wide open, he'll stick it.
Joe Bryant traveled, and so the 76ers with a 4-point lead, 95-91, give up the ball with 6:20 to play.
And the 76ers are hanging this tough. 4-point lead, and McGinnis and Irving are both on the bench. Shows you how deep they are.
That's the truth. 2 All-Stars on the Magic Show, Earl Monroe.
Earl probably has the best spin move in the NBA.
Doing it for 11 years. He now has 17 points for the Knicks. McAdoo has 24. McMillan has 13. Williams with 10. Shelton with 10. McAdoo gets all of it. Here come the Knicks on the run, but the 76ers have 4 men who have quickly transferred back to the defensive end to shut off the break. Joe Bryant comes in to rip it off. 2-point lead for Philadelphia, 95-93. 5:22 to go as people go to the floor.
Fouled by Earl Monroe. That's Monroe.
There's that magic show you're talking about, Don. Watch Monroe. He loves to shoot in traffic, spins, hangs, times the shot beautifully. I wonder sometimes how he has that tremendous body control, but he does use the board well, John.
Yes, he does, and he shoots from different positions also. He'll take the ball back over his head from the side and shoot it anywhere in between. That's a very difficult thing to do.
You know, they talked about early in this series, gents, that the overmatch of the guards was a big difference. The Knicks guards just couldn't stay with Philadelphia's backcourt. That's been one of the big reasons the Knicks have been in it today. They've been playing good in the backcourt. Monroe coming up with his best game. Had only 20 points in the first 3. Got 17 already today, and he's ready to get more if they give him a slight opportunity. That's the time remaining in the game. Knicks have to shoot. Clemens. Shelton cruised in and kept it down.
And that's what they need from Spencer Haywood. He has been very, very quiet this game. Some good offensive rebounding on his part that time. They need more of it, the Knicks, if they're to stay alive.
Haywood credited with a shot, has only 4 points so far, but the Knicks are back to within 2 as Knicks get set to inbound the ball. Clemens hawking Lloyd free and forcing him into an errant shot, but Caldwell Jones gets the offensive board. Loose ball, Shelton's out.
No, the other way, the other way. Joe Bryant cannot believe it, but when Shelton knocked the ball out of his hands, this happens to be a good call. What Joe Bryant did in his attempt to go get the ball, he pushed Lonnie Shelton away, so Lonnie Shelton gets away with it. I thought he might have fouled him on the first play, but he did not do it on the second play. A good call.
All right. So now the Knicks have the ball back, and they can tie the game. Monroe does a little off angle. Bryant comes down with it. Lloyd free, running hard. Goes off to Collins. There was 2 76ers that crashed into each other. And the ball's going to come inbounds to Philadelphia.
Well, you talk about rebounding. Collins will go up now and miss this shot. Now watch the 76ers converge on that ball. Lloyd free, Joe Bryant, everybody going to the hoop. This is a tough ball club in every manner and every shape of the game.
And this is a tough ball game. 97-95.
Fouled by Jim Clemens, his second personal foul.
Lloyd free getting on the inside. If the man is taking the ball out of bounds, you never want to give him that pass to the inside. Make him throw it to the sidelines or over the top out deep.
Lloyd Free has scored 15 points for the 76ers. Free averaged during the regular season 15-7. So Lloyd Free can't get it done from the free throw line, and now the Knicks have again the chance to tie up the game as we have 4 minutes left to play. Spencer Haywood, when the Knicks needed it so bad.
Knicks tried to draw the offensive foul. A little Hollywood acting in there. He was better off if he played a little defense. We've got a tie ball game now. Julius Erving back in the ball game for the 76ers. He's the one they'll probably look for.
Shelton body checking Julius Erving as Erving starts to move inside. They clear aside one-on-one. How about that, John?
Pretty good job of defense that time, but with Lonnie Shelton on Julius, I'm sure they're going to go back to him again.
Julius Erving using that forearm to push away, draws his 4th foul. The game is tied. The Knicks were down by 6. Spencer Haywood can't get it down. And here comes Mix up the floor. For Lloyd Free.
And that could be it for Lonnie Shelton. The foul's on Shelton, number 8.
That is it.
And that is number 6, and he is terribly unhappy. Now, I don't know why he did what he just did. You got a tie ball game here. He threw the ball away. He got hit with a technical foul, and that point, or the possible point coming up, could come up and haunt them. Now watch Lonnie Shelton. He plays body to body with Lloyd Free. It looked to me like he let Lloyd Free go by him, John. I didn't see any foul on the play, but of course the officials may have had a better angle. I saw no contact.
Well, actually, Lloyd had a step on him, and as he tried to catch up to him, he bumped him a little bit.
Let's take another look at it now. There's a little contact there, but it seemed to me that Lloyd Free had his arm extended, and Lonnie Shelton got called for the foul. Now that technical foul that Lonnie Shelton had called on him should never occur in a championship series like this. There's only 3:13 to go in a tie ball game.
So we have 3:03 left to go. Mix starts to go inside. Mix works hard and gets the shot.
Probably look for.
Shelton body checking Julius Erving as Erving starts to move inside. They clear aside one-on-one. How about that, John?
Pretty good job of defense that time, but with Lonnie Shelton on Julius, I'm sure they're going to go back to him again.
Julius Erving using that forearm to push away, draws his 4th foul. The game is tied. The Knicks were down by 6. Spencer Haywood can't get it down. And here comes Mix up the floor. For Lloyd Free.
And that could be it for Lonnie Shelton. The foul's on Shelton, number 8.
That is it.
And that is number 6, and he is terribly unhappy. Now, I don't know why he did what he just did. You got a tie ball game here. He threw the ball away. He got hit with a technical foul, and that point, or the possible point coming up, could come up and haunt them. Now watch Lonnie Shelton. He plays body to body with Lloyd Free. It looked to me like he let Lloyd Free go by him, John. I didn't see any foul on the play, but of course the officials may have had a better angle. I saw no contact.
Well, actually, Lloyd had a step on him, and as he tried to catch up to him, he bumped him a little bit.
Let's take another look at it now. There's a little contact there, but it seemed to me that Lloyd Free had his arm extended, and Lonnie Shelton got called for the foul. Now that technical foul that Lonnie Shelton had called on him should never occur in a championship series like this. There's only 3:13 to go in a tie ball game.
So we have 3:03 left to go. Mix starts to go inside. Mix works hard and gets the shot in the lane to give Philadelphia a 3-point lead.
Steady Steve Mix.
Oh, he's been that.
Probably look for.
Shelton body checking Julius Erving as Erving starts to move inside. They clear aside one-on-one. How about that, John?
Pretty good job of defense that time, but with Lonnie Shelton on Julius, I'm sure they're going to go back to him again.
Julius Erving using that forearm to push away, draws his 4th foul. The game is tied. The Knicks were down by 6. Spencer Haywood can't get it down. And here comes Knicks up the floor. To Lloyd Free.
And that could be it for Lonnie Shelton. The foul's on Shelton, number 8.
That is it.
And that is number 6, and he is terribly unhappy. Now, I don't know why he did what he just did. You got a tie ball game here. He threw the ball away. He got hit with a technical foul, and that point, or the possible point coming up, could come up and haunt them. Now watch Lonnie Shelton. He plays body to body with Lloyd Free. It looked to me like he let Lloyd Free go by him, John. I didn't see any foul on the play, but of course the officials may have had a better angle. I saw no contact.
Well, actually, Lloyd had a step on him, and as he tried to catch up to him, he bumped him a little bit.
Let's take another look at it now. There's a little contact there, but it seemed to me that Lloyd Free had his arm extended, and Lonnie Shelton got called for the foul. Now that technical foul that Lonnie Shelton had called on him should never occur in a championship series like this. There's only 3:13 to go in a tie ball game.
So we have 3:03 left to go. Knicks starts to go inside. Knicks works hard and gets the shot in the lane to give Philadelphia a 3-point lead.
Steady Steve Mix.
Boy, he's been that. Steve Mix so far has scored 8 points. That's the time remaining in the game. 2:43 left to play. McAdoo down low. Here comes Collins. The foot race is on. Knicks swiping at the ball, but they cannot get it. Lloyd Free will keep it in the air.
Oh, he'll put it up. I'll tell you, you think these guys aren't playing out there? What intensity going on in this court.
We better have a whistle pretty soon because looks like a gun went off out there. People lying all over.
And Billy Cunningham in front of our booth right here is shouting to his Philadelphia 76ers to take it easy, and play with some poise out there.
Really, poise was gone for a while there. Now Bill Cunningham says, let's be sure we establish our poise again. He calls a timeout.
Not only was he shouting down, but Julius Erving was shouting to his players also. Billy Cunningham was unhappy. He didn't like the shot selection on the last 2 plays.
I wouldn't do this with anything but a Lufkin.
I wouldn't measure this with anything but a Lufkin.
I wouldn't do this with anything but a Lufkin.
The pros use Lufkin because Lufkin holds up on the job. And the Lufkins the pros use, you can use because they're available in your local stores. They make Lufkin for professionals. That's why they're great for amateurs. Lufkin, another fine name from the Cooper Group.
Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet.
Come and get it, America. Chevy's new size, quick size, mid-size Malibu is here. And it's going the way America's going today. With more headroom, more legroom, trunk room, and higher EPA mileage estimates than last year's Malibu. Plus a whole lot of Chevy value through and through. The new Malibu, a fresh new slice of apple pie from who else but Chevrolet.
A fresh new slice of apple pie from Chevrolet to you. A fresh new slice of apple pie called Chevy Malibu.
You guys got yours? With Mendy Rudolph and John Havlicek, this is Don Crickey back at Madison Square Garden. There are the timeouts remaining, 2 for each side. 97 for the Knicks as they trail by 3. And there is Willis Reed as the season of the New York Knicks could have only 1:58 left to go unless they can get back the lead. Bill Cunningham and his 76ers looking to sweep the Knicks in 4. 197 Philadelphia. And that is the game clock winding down. Julius Erving one-on-one against Jim McMillan. Collins gets the rebound. That might be the final nail.
There's a 5 with only a minute and a half to go. The Knicks need a couple of quick buckets. They can't play around with this basketball.
That's what I was talking about, the cheap basket, and they shouldn't allow that to happen.
And Erving is very wisely going to run down the game clock by moving the ball up slowly. They're not going to take the ball away from Erving. Lloyd Free looking to get fouled to force the Knicks to foul. 1:14 left to play. Home run ball to Ray Williams, but Caldwell Jones is down there. Nicely done by Ray Williams. It's a 3-point game with 1:05 to go.
Billy Cunningham is calling the 1-4 where they're going to let Lloyd Free go one-on-one.
Backcourt foul was signaled against the Knicks, and so that is the 5th team foul of the 4th period against New York. So Knicks goes to the line for Philadelphia. While we have a moment, we'd like to thank our producer, Bill Barnes, and our director, Sandy Grossman, for their good work here at the Garden, as we have 1:01 left to go, and Knicks can make it very tough for the Knicks to stay alive in this series if he hits these. 4-point lead. John, the percentages become greater and greater against New York.
If he makes this free throw with a 5-point lead, it would be very difficult for New York to come back and beat them. I think they're going to have to get a shot up because they can't waste too much time.
McAdoo with a little too much on it. Boy, Lloyd Free. He might as well be 8 feet tall the way he got up.
He skied. I'll tell you, he was putting the half ball at that ground. That's another backcourt foul. They have 3 to make 2. Of course, the Knicks were fooled around with that basketball. They didn't like it. They got to get that ball up there. Hopefully score fast. McAdoo takes a shot he really didn't want to take. He was a little far away from the basket. Look at Lloyd Free go up and get that basketball. Can he get up there, John?
He sure can. He's 6'3", and he plays 6'7", 6'8".
He still coming.
Great chances to make 2 as Willis Reed, in his first year as head coach of the Knicks, watches the string run out. The Knicks coming into the playoffs for the first time since '75. They took care of Cleveland in 2 straight games. They then ran into a bulldozer here in Philadelphia. It's going to be a long time before the 76ers are stopped this year. That we owe you one. I think they're going to pay off or come very close to it. They got to be the favorite. Williams tips it in. 40 seconds left, a 5-point advantage for Philadelphia.
Knicks are going to double team this ball and hopefully gamble and steal something, but with Julius handling it, it's going to be extremely difficult to do.
There are those great hands. He was able to control it with one hand and make a long court pass.
And the clock winds down. 27, 26, 25 as the 76ers finish the Knicks with that stuff shot by the great Julius Erving, the truly great Julius Erving, as he now has 23. McAdoo is high from New York with 24.
Julius Erving just played a magnificent second half. He started to come on at the end of the second quarter. You never see him take a bad shot, and as you can see, he can pass also.
Monroe fires. Monroe gets it down, but the time is now run out on the New York Knicks. 5 seconds to go as Ray Williams fouls Doug Collins.
Foul was by Ray Williams.
This one was decided with about a minute to go in the 4th period.
And you mentioned Julius Erving. In the same breath, I've got to mention about Caldwell Jones. He did a super job, John, on intimidating the Knicks on offense, blocking shots, forcing McAdoo out of his game. And I believe my most valuable player award, if you agree, John Havlicek, will go to Caldwell Jones, John.
I'll go along with that. Caldwell Jones was the difference. His rejection of shots when the Knicks had built up that 13-point lead enabled Philadelphia to get back in it. Guy doesn't score a great deal. There is the shot. And so our MVP award goes to Caldwell Jones, who played such a superior all-around game. And Caldwell Jones from Albany State. That school will be the beneficiary of a $1,000 Chevrolet Scholarship Award for the General Scholarship Fund on behalf of Caldwell Jones as the Philadelphia 76ers complete a 4-game sweep of the Knicks. Mendy?
And they did it, I'll tell you emphatically. Anybody who's watching this game from San Antonio and the Washington area, this is the team you're going to have to contend with. They are awfully strong, Don. There's not a weak point in their game. They got a tremendous bench. They got a great starting lineup. They have all the tools to go all the way, in my opinion, this year, especially in lieu of the fact that they lost last year.
The final score, 112 to 107. The Philadelphia 76ers completing a sweep. Now let's go to Washington. All right, let's welcome Washington, we're told. And so, here is the story at Madison Square Garden. The New York Knicks gamely fighting in this fourth game, a game they had to win to stay alive, led by 5 at the quarter, led by 2 at the half. They were tied after 3 periods. And then Philadelphia, with what is truly a machine, rolled in the fourth quarter behind the rebounding of Caldwell Jones, the great shooting of Julius Erving. Philadelphia wins it 112-107 and sweeps the series.
Doug Collins, 24. Floyd Free, 17.
So, Mendy, our MVP award, as we mentioned earlier, goes to Caldwell Jones of the Philadelphia 76ers, who in his quiet way, his dominating way inside, won the basketball game along with some great other players. And that's it from Madison Square Garden. Now let's go to Washington for a report on that game.
Ray Williams,